Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Fight Night Rift. I'm Kangas. I'll be your play-by-play / unofficial host today, and joining me and allowing me to use this kitchen yet again, always so giving. Thank you so much, AlkBattery.
Thank you, Steve. It's been a long time. It's been a while since we got you on the Fight Night, right? It's been a few weeks. You've been gone.
It's been 1 month, technically, because these are every other week, and
Wow.
I wasn't here last time, but Zephyr took my spot. He did a fantastic job, and we also have now, between the Fight Night Rift on Tuesday, something else, Alk. You have that podcast with Smacks now.
Yeah, we got a little bit of reload. That just means every Tuesday you got something to watch in terms of Wild Rift content here on the channel. So it's fun,
Exactly.
but I've missed you. It's been a while. We did just do the WNS, but
Happy to be back. We did just have the WNS, but tonight it's all about Fight Night Rift here in our own community that we've been building. So if you're just joining our stream for the first time, first of all, welcome. Second of all, where you been, baby? Let's take a look at what we have ahead of us, because same format as all of our other Fight Night Rifts. First place, second place, third place, fourth place, all get a prize. Doesn't matter where you place, you at least walk away with something. But of course, you'll be chasing for that first place spot. We have 4 teams competing in a best-of-1 single round robin, and that leads into what, Alk?
oh, it leads into a ton of money, and you get to play that best of 5. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've seen a ton of different kind of teams. We haven't gone quite what I would consider an upset yet, so I'm hoping every Wild Rift Fight Night that we get something. I want one.
It's generally the favorite coming in that wins. I think it actually always is. So let's take a look at the teams competing today and see who that favorite is. Round 1, we have 60-bit Genesis, Reflection, and then Immortals, Galaxy X, Esports. These are all the 4 teams competing today. And as we take a look at the schedule, you will be following Reflection's games. Now, this is a pretty exciting team because the WNS Majors just happened this last weekend, Alk, and Reflection actually having a couple of members show up pretty big.
Yeah, we have their top laner, Extirpate, and actually their support, if I'm correct.
Katie,
both winning
both of them.
most improved player from the tournament, so really exciting stuff to see. And we got a couple of rematches coming in from the second qualifier, so I'm excited. And obviously, we're literally off of the first major here in North America, so excited to see if Immortals, if they're going to try some different things in the meantime while they're waiting for the second major, or if they're just going to have the try-hard pants on and do what they got to do.
Again, the favorites have been winning these Fight Night Rifts, and I think it would be a little disingenuous to say that Immortals are not the favorites after just taking #1 in NA. This is the best team that we have in the region, so competition's stiff for the others. But let's talk about the first matchup in particular. You hinted at it, Alk. This is a rematch. 16-bit Genesis versus Reflection.
Yeah, last time that we saw them, this was during the second qualifiers on day 2. They had already made it to top 4, so they qualified. But Reflection ended up taking a 2-0, and it was pretty dominant. And I'm excited to see what comes out of this, right? It's a best of 1. You never really knows what happens. And 16-bit Genesis has actually been a really fun team to watch so far throughout North America. So I'm honestly excited to see what they can do. And they even got a little bit of a roll swap looking at that support position.
Yeah, Hi Don't Hurt Me, of course, coming in here. And now going up against KT, who, like we said, we had a Most Improved Player award for each role from the WNS, the major, over the last weekend. And KT was picking up that for support position. So, Hi Don't Hurt Me, you got a pretty stiff competition ahead of you right now.
It never hurts to say, hey, look, I'm an AD carry player. They understand some of the intricacies of the support position. They know exactly what they would want from a support, but it's those small things. It's the little things that kind of get you when you look at the details. So excited about that. And also talking about the top lane, Extirpate versus Dawn. Dawn being a long-standing member of the North American scene for Wild Rift so far, and exciting between these two guys when we're talking about most improved player for Extirpate. It's a fun matchup.
Extirpate had some insane performances. Like, that's the one player that I had never heard of going into the qualifiers that I saw the performance. I was like, who is this?
What is this Fiora, man?
Like, yeah, that Fiora was absolutely insane. So let's see what happens in pick and ban here, obviously, because if Extirpate can get something that he can carry on, that's big news here for Reflection. But obviously, 16-bit Genesis, this is a rematch. They should know what they're coming into. And already banning away things like the Lulu, Olaf, and the Jace as they find themselves on blue side.
And I'm looking forward to what the junglers can do in this situation, because it's no longer Demon God here. They've already swapped them out, so a little bit of a different look. I was always looking for, when 16-bit Genesis was playing, their jungler before was very explosive, very dominant in how they would control the game. So with this new player coming in, does that change up our matchups? It seems like they want to take that away from Extirpate and give themselves the Fiora.
That is a spicy pick to kick off Fight Night Rift here. The Fiora is a takeaway from Reflection, and it's still a flex pick because we have seen Fiora in the jungle role as well, depending on which player is more comfortable with it. And with that as much tape on Ashita, we're not quite sure where that will end up right now. But let's see what Reflection's answer is. Because again, you could just opt for your own jungler right now, and maybe things like the support pick. Gragas, most likely going to be going into Katie's hands.
Yeah, and for Reflection, if we're talking just straight up wanting to go for a counter matchup and someone who can match Fiora in a team fight, I would like to see a Jax, whether that is in the jungle or for Extirpate. Still a really strong skill matchup, and obviously gives Reflection some edges when it comes to that matchup.
Yeah, it can deal with the Fiora just fine. It kind of matches the scaling split push power of the Fiora, and like you said, depending on the role, you can also flex that around. But it's instead the Corki focus. This is something that was very popular throughout that major that we just saw over the weekend.
Yeah, Corki has been ultimately kind of lighting up all social medias. This guy is doing the numbers across wildrift right now, and for now 16-bit Genesis, like, they have a couple of options, right? You're going up against Corki, which is not a super high damage 80 carries, so if you're going to be looking at the marksman position, you can look for something that maybe can get away with something in lane that doesn't need a support to be there for them.
But we already know what 16-bit Genesis is going to lock in with their next pick, Set. Now, again, flexible, could go into solo lane, could go into that support position. I actually have been a big fan of the Set support lately. I've been grinding some games, and I find that oftentimes the bot lane has been determined by support, not 80 carry pick. And Set is one of those support picks that can just body the 80 carry.
That has literally been the state of 80 carry for the longest time. Dragon lane, all of my duo lane partners, they know it's just support diff when you look at the bot lane. So,
of course, the 80 carry main is the one jumping on board with this narrative. I like it.
I understand it. Look, for 16-bit Genesis, I think it's really fun, the fact that they not only have Fiora, but they also got the Set, which a lot of people already understand that Set is really bad into Fiora, so kind of gives them some more options there, but they are very, very physical damage heavy, as well as very short ranged. Yeah. So this is going to be a little bit difficult. If they ever want to siege, they're going to need a team fight here. Whereas Reflexion, they're going to go ahead and pick up the Kha'Zix, which
bold choice.
Definitely been making some rounds here.
It's been very popular lately, but again, my view of the Kha'Zix is I like it when there's squishier members on the enemy team. Now, Fiora, to an extent, yes, if she doesn't have that riposte up, you can actually kill her very quickly, but Set and Wukong, they can survive quite a while, so unlikely that the Kha'Zix will get these super fast resets. It will, of course, depend on what else they draft around it. But, taking off the table, we already have Diana and the Senna as bans.
Ooh, okay.
Man,
taking away strong
That's
marksmen
AP.
that are still necessary here. I'm interested as to what Reflection is banning here, because more than likely this Wukong is going to be going into jungle, so we have the Baron laner already set up, and Hi Don't Hurt Me picking up the Set. Getting rid of more mages here is a really good call from Reflection, taking away more AP options as well as opening up what they want. Now Reflection, just pick some tanks. This has been flavor of the week, kind of, when you're building around a Corki. They're saying, hey, look, let's just put more and more beefy boys in front of them. You don't really have to worry all too much about them getting behind.
I wouldn't hate a Leona here, honestly. I think it matches decently into the Set. If he's trying to go in, you can just CC him immediately, although they probably already have that locked in with the Gragas. So Akali is the name of the game here. Another assassin paired with the Kha'Zix. Now they actually do have a lot of burst potential.
Yeah, they have a lot of damage. Also, Set is loving this. Set is like, oh, you're going to try and do burst damage against me? Well, here's a Haymaker. I'm just going to stop any kind of dive you want to do. Also, the Face Breaker is going to be really high value, as well as taking out targets utilizing the ultimate. So, important kind of notes to hit on here. As 16-bit Genesis, they say, hey, let's just take an assassin versus assassin mid lane matchup, as well as threaten the Corki in team fights with the Fizz.
This is spicy because you were already mentioning not a big front line for Reflection. So this is something that can kill the Corki, can kill the Kha'Zix, can, deal with the Akali, and if she doesn't have as many cooldowns up, can also kill her. And they also pair with a Xayah, something that still has DPS but can be very defensive against these assassins. I actually really like this draft from 16-bit Genesis.
It's very, very defensive, and for 16-bit Genesis, it's going to be all about what they can do with their Set and how Wukong kind of plugs into this. Because, yeah, Fizz can go in, but Fizz can very easily be stopped with a Gragas in front of him, as well as Akali with all of her different tricks that she has. very difficult to lock down either of these two mid laners. And Reflection say, R5 Akshan, we're going to have a little bit of fun here, Kangas. It's Fight Night Rift. I expect nothing less.
So the range matchup into what I would presume is the Fiora in the Baron lane with then Wukong in that jungle. So okay, range into Fizz. Again, I mean, this theoretically works too. Fizz has relatively long cooldown, so Akshan can actually abuse this range matchup pretty easily too.
Yes, very, very fun matchup, I would say, for the Akshan, just because it is always going to be a little bit threatening to play against Fizz. He does have the potential to kill you, but the shield coming in from your passive with the 3 hits, as well as being able to build Wit's End versus his team is actually pretty good if you're going for the 1v1. So talking about the side lanes, Fiora is going to be there. We have Akali. This should be a pretty explosive match.
I'm not necessarily expecting the Wit's End just because of all the damage that's also, like the AD damage from Fiora, from Wukong, from Xayah. So we'll see if he wants to go for that option. I still think, I was actually listening to Smacks, Alk, and his explanation. He was in the Cloud9 Discord server explaining to everybody why Black Cleaver is so popular right now and just how insanely gold efficient it is. The base stats, like 130% gold efficiency. When you factor in the passive, it gets up to like 180% gold efficiency. So I think that that actually might be something that we see a couple members of this Reflection lineup build early.
I do not want to have my co-caster be a Black Cleaver apologist. This is not what I signed up for.
I wasn't over the weekend, but then when I chatted with Smacks, he explained the tech to me, and I was like, all right, at least I understand it now. And I
understand it. It doesn't make me happy. This does not spark joy in me. This makes me very sad to see.
Yeah, everybody buying the same item is generally not good for the build paths in the league.
It happens, but there is some overhead, right? Like, one person can stack the Black Cleaver a little bit faster for the other. It's like a helping hand. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Go for it.
Yeah, there you go.
Plus, I mean, there's already a ton of armor shred on Corki as it is, and I have to see what happens as KT walking down mid lane. Hide Don't Hurt Me's here to follow up. They want to try and get some early scuttle priority, push out this mid lane, allow for either the Fizz or the Akshan to drop into Fog of War and be a dangerous threat.
And already Boom's here. If Ashita walks up to the top side, could be in trouble. Actually opts for the bottom side instead because Hide Don't Hurt Me. Pathing down there says, look, no jungler down here. We can just trade the scuttles.
He's already started it up as well, so I like this from them, making sure that, hey, let's just help out our jungler, take this little fat blanks. If he would have taken that, that's a big tilter there, but ends up getting the smite in. Taking control of the top side jungle. I love this invade here from Reflection.
Actually, a really good read. And it's not answered by 16-bit. They kind of had a window to go for the same play if they wanted to, but Lynx is actually playing defensively, KT as well, so maybe not. Getting top lane, Dawn here in a 1v2 scenario. Has flash still, won't pop
there it
it.
is.
Now Boom diving under the turret. Dawn dashes away, saves the flash. Boom picks up first blood.
Gets the ignite. Really good patience there from Dawn to not blow the flash, but awesome dive from Reflection. Really well played. You see how low a lot of the HP bars are. And this play is actually started all the way back a few seconds before from KT, helping out Osu to push to the mid lane, drop into Fog of War, go topside into the Baron lane, and cause a lot of havoc, getting a really good matchup and starting it the snowball that we want for Kha'Zix.
I'm not always the biggest fan of the support roam mid to fight for that priority, but I am a fan when you can get something done because of it. And Akshan is one of those mid laners that can absolutely find those windows. Really cool to see that. And now, with the 1,000 gold lead here, and on the Kha'Zix too, this jungle matchup is going to be really tough for Ashita.
We'll have to see what happens as a little bit of fighting, supportal combat. You're going to throw haymakers back and forth. It's going to be a little bit before we see the mid laners start to really affect some of the other lanes, and unless some jungle intervention or more support interference in the mid lane happens. As Osu, once he finishes the Blade of the Ruin King, that'll be a really huge power spike for them to move. And we're still waiting for Fizz. Now has the ultimate, and it could be ready to look for something as we get closer to Dragon.
EU Import could find the big play in these team fights. You got to watch for that Fizz ult. Because again, yeah, Osu and Blanks, they have decent matchups in their lanes, but they are still squishy members. They have to play carefully here. And I just want to give props to Katie as well. In the last, 30 seconds, got 2 wards with the sweeper, checked out the Krugs, and spotted 3 places where Ashita was not. Now passing topside here, getting out of lane yet again before these objectives spawn. But he and Boom are also spotted in that pixel brush, so there's a lot of information that 16-bit can work with here.
Again, making sure to move and give Osu space to get out of the map. As long as you don't know where Akshan is, he can be in every single lane all at once. Like a Schrodinger's cat kind of situation. If he's not in mid lane, he could be top. He could be in the dragon lane. You never know. And now with Corki package as well, Reflection for the next minute or so are in a really, really powerful position.
But it is awkward timings because low man on Katie has to reset. Blanks can try and hold this for these resets to come back onto the map, but I don't know if they'll actually have the package for a fight at one of these objectives. It's more so just to keep 16-bit from starting them themselves, as now Reflection back on the map here, posturing towards the top side. It looks like they go for the Herald.
OC recognizing, hey, I'm dropping a few too many minions to this dragon turret.
We're fighting Ashita right now.
Uh-oh.
Very low health bar. There's the package used. Blanks getting flashed out of I Don't Hurt Me. Actually just took the blast going, but now another member should fall. Dawn will die, and 2 kills picked up by Reflection.
Taking the Fizz out of the equation and immediately starting this fight onto Wukong is a fantastic start for Reflection. I think it may have been the package like push, because when you get hit by package, it does push you to the side. So maybe it just like pushed him over the wall. Either way, a really, really awesome way and to take set out of the fight as well. So a numbers advantage created by Reflection means that they get a ton of kills in that situation, as well as the Rift Herald. And now with item resets, they'll be able to come back onto the map and potentially look to start up this dragon.
A reminder that last time these teams met in the second qualifiers, 2-0 for Reflection. They made quick work of 16-bit. They have multiple members that have impressed us, and now they're doing it yet again. 5 from 16-bit are on this dragon. They're starting up the objective here, and we do get an answer from Reflection, but a little slow to the play, and 16-bit are out.
16-bit did that pretty fast as well. Reflection, I think we're just kind of waiting, a little hesitant with their play.
Katie doesn't have the ultimate. That's a massive ult from I Don't Hurt Me. Big engage, lots of damage. Oh, but the Trump the Waters misses. Katie still in trouble. Katie down. Dawn going forward, taking damage from Blanks. One more auto should take down Dawn. Oh, barely lives. Ooh. A sliver of a health bar.
Oh my god, it's so close. Like you were saying, Kangas. Little dicey there, but amazing ultimate from I Don't Hurt Me. Coming in, role swapping to support for the tournament. He is doing fantastic on this set so far. That ult right there saves them a lot of trouble, because that was a Rift Herald going down. So it was 2 plates for Reflection, but the fact that they got a kill back there and stopped the mid-siege is so pivotal for them, especially when you look, Fizz really hasn't had a lot of impact in this game so far, just now picking up their first kill.
And now that kill can turn into more item advantage here. Actually, still about tied with Osu.
Yeah.
And has been struggling even in that side lane. But you're right, finding any purchase in this game feels good for 16-bit. And especially stopping that Herald. Now Dawn could be caught out. Parries the explosive cast, but nicely done from Osu to pick up the kill.
Yeah, wanting to stop them from not only just, you know, hey, like, let's stop some crowd control from the Gragas, but potentially even stopping this. Extirpate almost with a solo kill. No ultimate. Has flash and barrier, but he's going to leave. Some Mia pings coming in from his team, recognizing, oh, I can't be here. Proto belt.
That was close. That was real close from I Don't Hurt Me. If he had enough reaction time to flash Facebreaker, that was a kill, but not finding it, Extirpate gets out.
Yeah, and this should just be the top tier 1 that they're trading, because they've already now given up one in the dragon lane. Blanks will never get here in time, and even if they do step up on the wave, you're playing against Fizz and Set, more than likely going to get dived and not going to have a lot of fun there. So trading tier 1s in the Baron and dragon lane, I have to see what exactly that comes. Again, mid lane is so important for both of these teams.
Not a bad look for 16-bit so far. They're a little behind in gold, but they're matching tempo on the map here. They're going for the dragon. They're going for the turrets. They're not falling too far behind and giving Reflection a free game. They're still, any opportunity they get, looking for these plays themselves. The issue is that Dawn struggling in the side lane. Ideally, you want this Fiora to be a little more fed so that she can be a menace, but so far, Reflection have found time after time opportunities to punish Dawn.
I mean, we're talking about when 16-bit Genesis are going to be strong, when are their wake-ups here. Dawn has finished Triforce, which is an important buy, as I Don't Hurt Me.
Oh, nice cask from Katie.
Oh, yeah, that one was a little too aggressive. I don't think you saw Too Young. He was recalling, so why are we going in there? Talking about the gold lead, talking about the item wake-ups going towards Reflection. their gold lead is almost entirely this Kazakhs now. There are a few trades. Obviously, Too Young has a little bit of a lead. Dawn is behind, but a lot of this is concentrated in the Kazakhs that we did want to see start scaling and snowballing.
Yeah, fantastic run from Boom right now, getting that first blood. 2 more kills since then, and I didn't even realize that. 2.8k ahead of Ashita. This Kazakhs is terrifying, as now we're grouping around this second Herald. 16-bit just started up.
They can. They're waiting now for reflection. How do they start up this fight? Watch where Kazakhs, watch Osu.
Watch for the engage of Katie. Oh, flashes past with a body slam. And now big engage from 16-bit. Boom onto the backline. Watch the Kazakhs. But everybody runs forward. They say we don't care about a Kazakhs on the backline. We go this way. And a double kill picked up by Boom. But still, more kills over to 16-bit.
Again, with how low range a lot of these team fights are going to be, Reflection get completely caught up in the set crowd control, in the Wukong, as well as the Fizz. And a fantastic fight there for 16-bit Genesis blows this game wide open, as the gold lead that we had noted for them is completely gone at this point. They're going to lose a Dragon, they're going to lose the mid-tier 1. A few plays should go over in favor of 16-bit Genesis here, as... Oh, it just barely doesn't hit.
Oh, doesn't hit, but... Such a good time to have that fight and to win that fight so well. Katie went for the engage, but didn't flash body slam into people. He actually flashed past them. And then Hi Don't Hurt Me just goes in for a really clutch invade. Ashita layers it on top of it as well. And they just have this Xayah who can keep herself alive against the Kazakhs. It's actually tough for Reflection to take these 5v5 team fights. They operate much better in these find an isolated member and pick them off kind of scenarios.
Yeah, for 16-bit, there's some really good zoning coming out from their front line. Stopping Extirpate from getting into the fight pretty late.
Ooh,
was
Extirpate,
awesome.
Speaking of, he's down in this bottom lane in some trouble here,
dead.
And he goes down. Meanwhile, Katie could die here as Ashita looks for an engage. The ultimate does not commit.
Okay, just going to be blocking this off. And now Kazakhs is going to be here. Watch for the re-engage. Ashita.
Boom onto Ashita, gets the slow. That's a lot of damage. There's a lot of burst. Under the turret goes
Oh!
Katie. Oh, nice ult from Ashita, buffering the Gragas and the Kazakhs. But there's too many members. Even Blanks joins in for the kill.
We'll take that. Fizz is getting gold on the bot side. The longer it takes
Katie!
for them.
Oh!
No, Katie!
He goes down. He still was tanking turret before the mini wave walked in. Now Osu getting chased down. Hi Don't Hurt Me. He's so fast with the dead man's play completed. Oh, the flash phase breaker! Now Blanks running away, trying his best, and the damage comes through. That's another kill picked up. Boom joins in now. It's traded. Osu still alive. Osu forward. Boom with the resets. Featherfall, Too Young. Oh, almost gets the blade recall back.
Oh my god, but 16-bit Genesis are now just winning fight after fight. KT ends up dying to the turret there. Extirpate is taken off on a side lane. 16-bit Genesis are firing off now on all cylinders, and even Kazakhs, despite this gold lead, cannot get into the backline with the disruptiveness of a Wukong. And again, gotta highlight it, Xin on this set, Hi Don't Hurt Me, he's really doing so much in every single one of these fights.
Being the front line, being that annoying factor that makes it really hard for these assassins to get past, as well as a Corki to package in aggressively. Very dangerous against this composition. And we are talking about the Fizz not being the most high impact early on in the game. EU import, 204, 3 items completed, definitely online now.
Yeah, good luck trying to not only kill this guy, but also not getting one shot, not getting one tap. The Infinity Orb is a huge purchase, and obviously finishing off that Lich Bane a little bit earlier means that Osu is going to have to be careful in their positioning. Same thing with Blanks. Anytime they do not have Flash, that is a kill angle for them.
Now Baron's on the table here. Teams can look to go for this big objective, and so far 16-bit have just been confident enough to walk up and start objectives, but I think the Dragon's where we'll realistically see action next. That is also spawning in just under a minute time.
So Kangas, while this game has been going on, I've been trying to like categorize what kind of team this is, like what is the style that this team wants to go for, and I think I've come up with, both teams have kind of gone for what I consider a soup draft. And what I mean by that is we're just going to throw things at each other, and we're just going to get bogged down into a team fight, and whatever happens, happens. The middle mix is like, it's all over the place. It's different flavors, different hints from everything else. It's the soup.
It's a soup. You just throw whatever you got in the kitchen into some hot water, get a little broth rolling. The broth is the, It's the Xayah, she's the DPS. Everything else is just little spices thrown
Yeah,
on top,
you get a Fizz in there. You've got like a Kha'Zix and an Akali in there.
Yeah,
it's everything.
Seafood, some herbs and spices.
I don't like the idea of this. That sounds a little bit outside of my palate range.
Maybe just a little bit of cheese on top, but it's actually Dragon picked up here by Reflection. They had a very early look at that river, but everyone from 16-bit, they just shoved mid. Now watch for the engage here. Packages available. 16-bit might have stayed for too long. High Don't Hurt Me still being on front line. Nice package forward from Blanks. But
oh, no!
Gorgie flashes away. Can they kill Blanks? The rest of the team's falling. Boom's alive with the resets. Nice stasis used from EU Import. It's a 2-for-2 trade, or 2-for-1 trade so far, actually, as KD did get out. But look at Osu on the flank right now. EU Import's got the damage! Has to go into stasis. Boom forward with the GA. Flash wave from Osu. He's down. No one can keep the carries alive. And Too Young picks up 2 kills.
Oh, Boom. You're going to have to be waiting. Can't
find
a kill.
Oh, Boom onto the carry. And now with another reset. Chase down Ashita. Don't get distracted by the clone. That's my job. Oh, EU Import's got the burst that we were talking about, though. But KD's tanky. Bought enough time. Dawn comes through. Takes down KD.
Oh, my God. The Wukong clone. The resets for Boom. They were so close. And right there, we get to see excellent team fighting coming out from 16-bit Genesis, as the Fizz coming a little late to the fight means that the Fizz ultimate now lands. And it was taken right into the waiting arms of all of Reflection's backline. Flashed right into Blanks. In Extra Pay, you just get to watch the Baron fall before you, as now 16-bit Genesis are in a huge lead.
Massive pickup for 16-bit Genesis. They have shown twice in a row now that they have the better teamfight composition and very strong understanding of how to fight in these big skirmishes, whether it's at the objective in the river, whether it's in the enemy's top jungle. They're pulling off these plays.
They're definitely going for some risky strategies here and winning the kind of coin flip duel for 16-bit. What I want to see from Reflection is how they play around KT, because so far, High Don't Hurt Me has really taken advantage of this matchup of either taking a member out of a fight or bringing one and kind of abducting them into their arms. But they need to be able to play patiently and really utilize the poke from Blanks so that people like Osu, people like the Kha'Zix can get their resets in and then, whittle away at 16-bit.
Yeah, throw Extra Pay's name into that hat as well. They have members that can finish off targets that are low enough, so watch for Blanks. Ooh, watch for KD's engaged too. He's looking for him right now. As the Baron minions start sieging onto these inhibitor turrets, a reminder that Reflection got the better of this matchup last time, but that's the engage from KD I was hoping for. Not quite onto the right members. The turret falls. Now we're into the fight. KD locked down. KD forward. KD should go down. As Dawn charges under the Nexus. Massive re-engage from Extra Pay, taking out the member. Fiora down, but now EU Imports in. 3 members strong from Reflection. Can they hold the line? They just gotta stay alive long enough, but it's on to the Nexus, and 16-bit Genesis find their revenge.
Oh my God, they said, hey, we don't really need... Hey, look, last week in the qualifiers, we were warming up. We had already hit top 4. And now here, they use a lot of that practice and come out ahead. 1-0 at the beginning of our group stage here for Fight Night Rift. Really excellent team fighting a lot of spaces. Again, I know we've been talking about it the entire game, but High Don't Hurt Me on this set time and time again made sure that their team were in an awesome position.
Right around that 9-minute mark, you see it on the gold graph. That was that initial fight around the, I believe it was the second Rift Herald.
Yeah.
That we saw 16-bit Genesis actually just positioned correctly. They had a really cool composition, multiple members that can go forward, not many people that are in danger of the Kha'Zix. Xayah with the ultimate to keep herself alive. Reflection just couldn't find their right fight, their right moment, despite having a very strong early game performance, finding these plays around the map. Once it came down to group and fight for objectives, they just couldn't hang.
They didn't have the poke. They didn't have necessarily a lot of damage, because at that point, right, when you're playing these kinds of drafts, especially when you have an Akshan, you're looking at whittling away certain members or getting isolated picks. It is where Akshan tends to shine. You can utilize either the ultimate or even the web swing, because it's very difficult for you to kind of lock him down, but without a lot of frontline as well, difficult to take 5-on-5 team fights. You got to get creative with it. You cannot just go front to back with these guys.
And that's a big win for 16-bit Genesis. It feels good for revenge, but also a reminder that the top 2 teams in this best of 1 round robin will move on to the grand finals. Having an opportunity for a best of 5 against presumably Immortals, obviously anything can happen. We'll see what happens leading into the finals, but getting best of 5 experience under your belt is huge for a team that already qualified for the first major, hoping to make that run for the second. But let's take a look at what's happened elsewhere around the Rift. Of course, we were only watching this stream, but okay. Immortals were able to take their win against Galaxy X Esports, our representative from LATAM. So cool to see that, Immortals not missing a beat, and that could be 16-bit Genesis' opponent if they can make that finals run.
Doing it in record time as well, kind of keeping pace with 16-bit Genesis, saying, okay, you guys finish your game, we're going to finish our game as well. So I'm glad that we're not waiting around, because that has been something that has happened before, right? Where like one of our first teams start, and then we're just waiting. We're like, okay, well, now we got to wait for all the other kind of the rest of the bracket to fall out.
But now we get to see this matchup. Yes. We can see Reflection versus Immortals. Again, we're going to follow Reflection's games for today. And this is the really hype one, because this is the #1 team currently in North America in Immortals, now taking on Reflection, who still have some really strong performers. I had them as favorites going into that 16-bit Genesis match, but it's cool to see that the field might be a little closer than we were expecting. Let's see what happens in this matchup after a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
Introducing Fight Night Rift, a bi-weekly Wild Rift event hosted by GiantSlayer. 4 teams will be invited to compete in a round-robin best-of-1 format, where the top 2 teams in the round-robin will play in the finals to decide the winner of that week's Fight Night. And the best part of it all, anyone can join. Head over to GiantSlayer.tv/WR to sign up and have a chance to be invited to compete in the next Fight Night. Our hope with the Fight Night Rift is to create a place to develop North American talent in a grassroots environment. Will you be the next Fight Night Rift champion? We'll see you on the Rift.
And welcome back, everybody. We're here for our second game of Fight Night Rift on this lovely Tuesday afternoon. We got Reflection taking on Immortals in our second game of the day. A reminder, we're following Reflection throughout the group stage, so we'll get 3 of their games in a row, and we'll get to see them match up against each of their opponents. And this one, Alk, looking pretty tough.
This one's a little bit harder, especially since Immortals went undefeated in the major this weekend, and Reflection obviously took a little bit of an early bow out. This one should be a learning experience. I mean, look matchup versus matchup, like just going down the list. You have a bunch of star-studded players on Immortals, and I mean, even looking at how they tend to play, it's got to be Extirpate versus Araki. This guy is, we're talking about Araki, he has not been the most proficient carry player, and you look across from him, Extirpate is looking for those lane advantages, looking to solo kill you.
You want to run that back for me? Are you sure they're undefeated in that last tournament? I seem to remember them dropping at least a game in the finals.
Okay,
to
the series as a whole, you
gotta give respect.
They went through the top side
undefeated
of the
in
bracket.
series, sure,
Series.
but that's not undefeated. They did lose one to Sentinels and they did lose one to enemy. But regardless, still #1 team. So let's take a look at this head-to-head and start to try and piece together out where Reflection can maybe find some purchase in this game. I think a lot of it will depend on if they're blue side or red side for me. But I'm curious what your thoughts are.
I mean, I just think this is a like matchup-wise, stylistically speaking, for Reflection, a nightmare match. Like, we have a jungler, both junglers are going to be incredibly aggressive. Across from you on the river, you're facing Lamont, and if we're talking about enabling Osu, well, you're playing against Hoon. So, you look at your bot lane, and you're like, oh my god, I'm playing against Goom as Blanks. I'm sure it's not as exciting as maybe I'm making it out to be, when you're like, I've played these guys in solo queue a ton, but still, how they tend to play for Reflection is exactly where a lot of Immortals' strengths tend to lie.
That's why I gotta look at Extirpate in that Baron lane. Most improved winner for the top lane from the major this last weekend. And up against Iraqi Zoro, he can play the carries. We know Iraqi Zoro will pull those out, but oftentimes the team will instead say, hey, we're gonna put you on Malphite duty. We're gonna put you on Iraqi's duty, and then play through the rest of their team. If Extirpate can get a good lane matchup, maybe that's where they can look to pull something out here, because Reflection are a bit in the hot seat. I mean, they just lost to 16-bit Genesis. If they lose this, then they'll have to win their next game and hope that 16-bit also lose theirs. But even then, I believe that they lose via head-to-head.
Exactly. So it's kind of
pretty much a must-win.
It's super doomed for them.
They have to win this right here.
Yeah, they would have to make an ultimate upset. And honestly, this is the place to do it, right? Like, we're talking about a couple fight nights ago, Cloud9 losing, and we're like, okay, well, this was one of our expected favorites to make it to the finals. They ended up making it in the end thanks to some tiebreaker rules, but it is super, super clutch, and obviously every win matters when you're playing in a best-of-1.
I can't believe the 1 week I'm not here for Fight Night Rift is the 1 week that we actually have tiebreakers. We talk about this every time. Like, it's so rare to get them. When are we going to get a tiebreaker? And of course, I'm not here for it. But regardless, Reflection, they have their work cut out for them, because Immortals still #1 team. But it is Fight Night Rift. Maybe Immortals aren't taking this one as seriously as they are the WNS or those majors that we just saw them in. If they're playing a little more loose, a little more fun, because let's be honest, I don't expect Iraqi Zoro to play a tank. I feel like for Fight Night Rift, they're going to want to have some more fun.
Did you see game one of the finals? I mean, I know we were casting it, but we literally got Akshan top lane. So, like,
we did.
Anything's possible, especially when we're talking about Immortals going through with this. And bans already kind of populated on through, right? We've got a ton of mages being taken away. Specifically for Immortals, I like the focus of getting this Jace out of Extirpate's hands.
But the win condition for me is the Fiora. It's not banned, and we have blue side Reflection. They don't first pick it, though. Okay, going for the Lulu instead. Interesting choice.
Yeah, this has been banned last series for 16-bit Genesis, so wonder what they're kind of trying to set up for this. Are they going to go for a Vayne composition? We saw it, I think, once before for Blank, so going to be out of the woodworks there, but Kangas, hold me, I'm scared. They've got, not only now they have Fiora for Rocky Zoro, but they've got Lamont's Olaf. Olaf, I'm scared. I'm terrified. This is your
Lamont's
MVP.
Olaf is actually terrifying. He MVP of all of the first major. We saw his Olaf game where they actually had, I believe, the Lulu on their team, and he just couldn't die. But the big thing is taking the Fiora away from Reflection. That means that Extirpate will not get that champion, and Iraqi Zoro can have a little bit of fun. He ain't playing no tanks. He's blind picking this Baron laner.
Telling his coach, he's like, I'm not playing the Malphite again, man. You literally can't make me play the Malphite again. I'm not doing it.
Not at Fight Night Rift. Not here. No.
It's in the name. We're here to fight.
Exactly. We're not here to scale up and be frontliners. Well, I guess you are still a frontliner kind of as the Fiora, but we're here to do that damage and duke it out. Answer from Reflection being the Kazakhs, so back to that for Boom. He had a really strong performance on it in the last game, so understandable. And then the Gragas. Now, interestingly enough, this means that maybe it's the solo lane Lulu. Maybe it's not actually a support Lulu because Gragas can still be flexed there, but they have a little bit of flexibility.
Yeah, there's definitely a bunch of different roles that we can see Reflection go for, and getting rid of this Galio kind of hints to me that they're playing Lulu support here for KT. The AD carry pool, in my mind, should be getting pinched here because there's all the marksmen, all the Dragon Laners are already being taken away. Brand is still available for Reflection if they want to go for it. Same thing for Immortals if Gume is going to be picking up this mage. And we're getting rid of Corki as well, so setting up, maybe we get that, maybe they kind of try to bait Immortals into picking Ezreal so they can get a really favorable Vayne matchup. That's what's coming up in my mind.
Yeah, and Braum decent into that Vayne, can block the damage, has the slows, can just be a nuisance for her. So it is actually, you're starting to convince me. It might still be that Vayne focus for Reflection. So what does Immortals want to do to answer that? Neither their Dragon Laner or their support have been locked in. Lucian. Ooh, okay. We're having fun today, Alk.
Okay, they said, look, Goom, give him the free reins. He's been stuck on Varus duty for all of the major. We've been stuck on playing like all these different mages. Let's just give them a carry that allows them to be a little bit more solo by themselves for the most part. As Reflection putting in work on the Jinx. We also saw this during the qualifiers. Still did not find too much success with it. But Jinx Lulu, you have a reset potential with your Kha'Zix. It's going to be a lot of damage in the Garen here as well.
So is that mid lane Gragas then, or is it mid lane Lulu with support Gragas?
Okay,
I
this
mean,
could
I guess
be
either can work.
So this could be Garen mid lane. Garen mid into melee matchups is actually really strong and very resilient against wave push thanks to his third ability. But honestly, Kangas, I really don't care now about Reflections draft. I've got Immortals and I've got specifically Charm playing Yuumi. He has been spamming Yuumi in solo queue. He's been spamming Yuumi in every single comment. He's like, I wanted to play Yuumi in the last game of the finals, but my team said, oh, we gotta play Leona. Oh, we gotta win the game, blah, blah, blah. Finally, his name in the server is literally Yubi. Like, Ethan has been a huge fan of this champion.
I'm disappointed, Ethan. I never thought you would be the one to pull out the Yuumi.
He's the first person to pick up the Yuumi. What do you mean?
I know. That makes it even more disappointing. But locked in right now here. Goom and Charm in the bottom lane. This is a terrifying combo. The Lucian has so much ability to get aggressive, and then Yuumi on top can get her in range for the Pearl and Projectile, as well as the last chapter. So, kind of difficult now for Blanks and KT. They do still scale. They will still be a menace later on in the game, but this laning phase could be rough.
And not even that. We can kind of just like take a step back and look further, you know, as a whole at the game. For Immortals, you look at their team, Yuumi is sick. Like, you're getting speed ups, you're getting lockdown for people like Olaf, for people like Diana.
Yeah.
You've also got Fiora for Rocky Zoro takes control of this X-Bait matchup. Speaking of his bot lane, it is so dangerous here, as Summoners being blown in the mid lane also means Osu's going to have to back up. This is going to be a really aggressive matchup, and honestly, this is what I want to see from Immortals.
Yeah, get aggressive. Show us what you can do mechanically. This is a team that has been finding a lot of wins through mechanics, but also through just smart macro play, better setups and objectives, as Blank almost goes down, saves the heal till the very end right there.
Really?
But it would be cool to see Immortals just absolutely pop off and dominate through pure mechanics.
Yeah, especially when you're already saying it, right? Like, they were winning a ton of games in the major, even when they were behind, by having solid map rotations and making sure that they were on time for objectives with really, really solid setups. So, proud to see that Immortals still are willing to play a kind of a hands matchup in a lot of cases. So, I wonder how this is going to work for Reflection now, because this is a pretty greedy start for their bot lane. Like, you already know you're going into Lucian. Lamont?
Ooh, skirmish in the top river, though. Lamont taking damage. Flashes onto Goom, or Boom, rather, and picks up 2 kills, because Hoon follows up. There's a lot of sounds in this game, but regardless, 2-0 for Immortals.
Boom, Goom, Boom. Go next if you have Reflection right now. It is, actually, a very, very good couple of flashes there from IMT. Baits Reflection into their jungle. Ends up turning into a few kills, and obviously getting about 1,500 gold from First Blood is never going to feel too bad. Specifically now, Lamont is going to start feeling a lot of pressure to carry this game as the Olaf. We've already seen it time and time again. This guy going deathless before in the major. I'm expecting a similar performance here.
Yeah, I mean, you can say a lot of pressure. I think that's just business as usual
Yeah.
for Lamont. At this point, this is just what we expect from him. And who knows, maybe that is adding extra pressure. But regardless, this is a lot of gold for them to work with to deliver on. Now up to even close to 2K as the goal differential here. As every lane working out in Immortals' favor currently. Who under the turret? Oh, takes away the plant, but almost dies for it. Oh,
Good job right there of not only getting the heal, but also being able to survive the kind of kill threat of this. The junglers are fighting for Raptors, man. Boom, I don't know if you want to do this. Oh, Olaf, he's charging him. He's going for the Olaf. Even with the Jinx ult coming through, Lamont solo kills Boom. And that's an aggressive look from Reflection that ends up biting them back. Boom, no mid priority. His Baron laner's never going to get there in time. So IMT, really huge gold lead now. And as they reset, as they start to pick up more items, it's going to feel more and more oppressive for Reflection as... Gonna have to ask the question as we get further into the game, was the Jinx worth it? You saw that they had the Lucian. The laning phase is, you know, it's going all right. You're just missing a ton of gold. Already finishing, only being able to have the crit gloves as well as the longsword.
yeah.
Definitely dangerous.
The idea is that you'll scale, you'll have the support on top of you with the Lulu, and then two beefy frontliners in Garen and Gragas, but you got to get to that state, and being really far behind the gold will make that tough, but Immortals are just that good of a team. We expect them to have this kind of gold lead and then run away with it as they pick up Dragon, rotate, even their Dragon laners up here to the Rift Herald, so could just be objective to objective run for them.
I think that solo kill for Lamont ends up being hugely detrimental for Reflection's game plan, because now Olaf is so far ahead. When we're talking about Jinx getting resets, who's going to be doing damage for that to happen? It was supposed to be this Kha'Zix, but now Kha'Zix has been removed from the game. Lamont is super strong, and in what kind of feels like an oh my god, he stole it! Never mind!
Blanks with the steal on the Herald. Hey, that's something. No flash under turret, committing on to extirpate. As at least a kill picked up for Immortals, but nicely sniped from Blanks.
Okay, it doesn't save the game completely, as they'll still lose this top tier 1 in the Baron lane, but that definitely feels good. If you're Reflection, you're like, okay, we just stole it. Thank God. Okay, so it's not going to be the end of the world for them, but still, some of these are still starting to fall away from them, as Immortals probably not super ecstatic about the Rift Herald being stolen there.
I mean, it's not ideal. It's not according to plan. They're still ahead. It's still up 4K gold, and I don't really know. I guess it'll come down to what Blanks can do with it. The Jinx does actually have it in her inventory since she picked up the kill.
Yeah.
So if you can get a full turret for this, hey, that's a lot of gold back in your pocket and onto the Jinx, the member that will need to carry in this game.
Specifically where it goes is going to be important, as already we're seeing the marksmen just sit in the solo lane, or sit in mid lane and constantly ping pong waves back towards each other. It frees up the supports to help out across the map, as KT, oh, that Crescent Strike just barely misses out on him. But
landed,
if Osu, like you were saying, can get gold, they're probably going to wait until before the Dragon to drop it to force IMT's hands.
The Dragon could be where we see action next, or just a dive under this turret right here. Hoon onto
the
turret. Getting damaged. Charm looking to reposition onto Lamont, as no kills will come through for either team. It's just Immortals getting a clean take of that turret. Now, I want to bring our attention to something here, Alk. Actually, yeah. I'll hold that, as we could still see some action. Yeah, the mid turret's going down too, and no response yet from Reflection. Boom jumps forward. Could be in trouble. Final chapter comes out. Doesn't land the CC.
Okay. So, what were you trying to point my eyes to? What were you trying to see? Are we seeing that Blanks doesn't have flash anymore?
No, it was going to be a very important point that doesn't actually mean much right now, because Charm is currently backing, not attached to anybody. But you know what I just noticed?
What's up?
When Charm is on somebody as Yuumi, their little icon on the minimap has cat ears on it.
Yes!
That just infuriates me even more.
What do you mean? That's the best part!
It's a cute touch, but it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with emotionally. As Boom could die in this bottom lane here. Hoon going for it. Ooh,
oh, yeah. I mean, we could see Catboy Olaf. Is that not what you want? I feel like that's a really good thing for
It wasn't on my list of wants and desires, but I suppose to each their own. You see it on the little minimap there as Goom had it on. I just had never noticed. I'd never noticed before.
Now, Charm has committed the cardinal sin, and so I'm expecting a lot of people to make fun of Charm online. I'm not going to try to endorse bullying, especially a young kid, but Charm, you have decided to go boots on Yumi. This is a pretty big...
Well, yeah, I mean, you get the spooky ghosts.
Yeah, but, like, you're playing Yumi, right? Like, you're wasting gold. You're waiting until your enchantment for it to really be useful, because most of the time, you're going to be attached. You're going to have spooky ghosts, yes, but that's, like, almost 1,500 gold that you're wasting just to get an active item.
You also get the passive stats, depending on what the tier 2
Oh, yeah, the
boots
movement
were.
speed. Yeah, the movement speed for Yumi.
Yeah, I mean, or the, magic resist, or
Yeah,
cooldown reduction.
Yeah, they did go lucidity, so, at least we're picking up something
obviously
here.
he does Yumi, so I see the argument, but I also see your point, Alk. Regardless, I think it's going to work out for Immortals as they pick up the second dragon of the game. Herald dropped in the top lane, but it won't even make it to the turret.
Thankfully for IMT, they're like, oh, we've been pushing in all our lanes. That means the Rift Herald can't ever get to this other spot. Boom's going to start up the Rift Herald, but unfortunately, the Immortals Death Squad is on the way. Iraqi's coming down. Boom has to jump out. Thanks for the leash, bud. And Kangas...
And everybody's just collapsing, yeah.
Yeah, so this is the cool thing here that happened for Immortals. Because they took the top tier one, they were able to take all of those camps away from Boom. Then they went bot lane. They went to the Dragon lane. They got the tier 1 there. And then they took camps away from Boom. So Boom's like, well, now I don't have any camps. I used to have 3. I used to actually have 6 before. Now I have 0. And the mid farm obviously is going to be going over to one of the carries. So now they're just losing everything in Reflection without engage. Can't do much here.
It'll come down to Extirpate to try and find something, but they're a little slow on the rotation, and they can't find an opportunity to actually engage onto Immortals while they're pushing in that top turret. As now Immortals just have their run on the map, every lane pushing in like you had already highlighted. And there we go, Catboy Olaf on the minimap. You see those ears? That is terrifying.
This is beautiful.
Never thought I'd say it.
About.
Boom flashing under the turret. Ooh, this is pretty big. Moonfall from Hoon onto 3. Isolated in a 1v3. Doesn't even matter, because now the rest of Immortals can just charge this down. Catboy Olaf, you will fear him. Triple kill to Lamont.
I've never seen the cat ears look so devastating as Extirpate. Let's see it, buddy. You got the hands?
You don't need the cat this time. You don't need no kitty cat. Olaf's got this. It's actually going to be Goom that gets it. And the cat is down, everybody. I repeat. The cat is down.
All right, Immortal Charm giving only the first kill to Reflection. Potentially could have been a perfect game there as they did actually get the Rift Herald, so it can't even be a perfect game by stats. It makes me a little bit sad
but
there.
The Herald doesn't show up on the bar, so does it count? Does it really count at the end of the day?
They got the Herald. That is an objective that they got. Kangas, we can't just...
see a Herald counter on the top bar on the screen now.
I don't want to erase history from Reflection. I'm trying to give them every participation medal we can in this game because Immortals are bullying.
Look at that one. Look at that one. That
I
cat went down, Alk. All right.
I see the kitty cat.
And you know what, Charm? You know what, Charm? If you had a little more HP and a little less boots, maybe you survived that.
Okay.
Although I don't even think you build HP anyway, so that point doesn't really matter. Boom could be caught out here in the Dragon Lane, who chasing him down, but it's kind of slippery to get on.
You know what would have helped? Not HP, ability haste or cooldown reduction, because he would have been able to heal a little bit faster.
He has that. Has that with the boots though.
More ability haste. We need even more. You can get it from items. Maybe even more ability power, right?
I mean,
just raw damage.
20% on the lucidity is like the highest you can get with that amount of gold. But regardless, Arakizoro in a 1v2 scenario, will go down here. Flashes away, dashes to safety. No way. Arakizora actually gets out of that one. Absolutely insane. As now the mid turret falls. Blanks died as well. Extirpate in trouble here. The Yumi following up onto Hoon. Now Hoon a little bit in enemy territory. Has to run away right now, taking the damage. Sharp says, I will abandon you and go back to my Catboy boyfriend. And now it doesn't matter. Nobody falls. Immortals still alive. Hoon alive. Godlike for Lamont. And that is game 2. All Immortal.
Immortal saying we did it in 13 minutes in the game before. We'll do it in 12 this time around. And that was just all Immortals the entire game. Reflection had very little say as the game went on. Their bot lane didn't have a lot of priority. Mid lane, I think Hoon did a fantastic job of taking control of this matchup. And we were talking about the top lane matchup for the Baron laners. Extirpate was a ghost.
Yeah, it did not turn out the way that I was expecting for Reflection. Their approach at the draft was very much focused on blanks in that dragon lane, and you saw very early on things not going their way. Once Immortals got the snowball rolling, look at this graph. I mean, it just kept rolling. This is basically the slope that snowball took as it accelerated down into that late game. But that is the #1 team in North America, everybody. Immortals have a lot of expectations on them holding that #1 seat right now. And delivering, I think, so far today.
Yeah, this is performing about what I expect. I'm glad that there wasn't any kind of slip-ups in terms of strategy, in terms of what they wanted to do. It was just plain old, we're going to play a little bit better. We're going to make sure that we're first on 2 objectives and force Reflection into really awkward situations where they're going to probably have to give up a lot to try and steal them. We saw that the only real way they were able to contest was literally a Jinx ultimate. So, say what you will.
But that Jinx ultimate landed.
It
And the
did.
kill came through. So still, Reflection fighting their best against what is the hardest team to face possible in North America right now. But still, we have more matches ahead for Reflection. This is now another loss in their books, so mathematically they're not able to make it to the finals, but we will still follow their journey today as they will be taking on their final opponents that they have yet to match up against, and that will of course be in Galaxy X Esports. So that'll be happening after this, but for now, I still think that Reflection, they have a lot of growing to do as a team, and they still have shown a lot of sparks in their life and in their run so far throughout the qualifiers, throughout WNS, majors last weekend, and even today.
I think I'm really kind of happy for Reflection, the fact that they're willing to experiment with a couple of different picks that a lot of other North American teams we haven't seen. Specifically, I'm a big fan of Garen mid. I think Garen just in general is really broken. So the fact that we're getting to see Osu flex his muscles champion pool wise, even if it is a loss, it is worth, I think, to kind of investigate as we get further into the scene. So I'm happy for them there.
The big thing I'm curious about is what happened in the other match that was going on, because 16-bit Genesis and Galaxy X Esports were facing off, so let's see.
Oh, they're still in it.
Oh, that's still going. Okay. Well, that's exciting, because Galaxy X Esports is a team that I personally know not a lot about, so I'm excited to see what they show, because they'll be the next game going up against Reflection, and I love seeing new teams, new players in the league, especially at the Fight Night Rift, because it's such a fun format to play in, and it's a really cool way to, take names.
Yeah, and specifically, if you are a LATAM player, or if you're a part of the LATAM community, please, for the love of your players, if you're trying to help them out, stream your games, people. Please.
Yes.
I need to be able to watch it. Help your teammates, help your players, get publicity. You lose nothing.
Help us help you.
Yes.
We'd love to support your streams and check out what your players are doing in your play styles. But for right now, we're going to be learning together, everybody, because next up we have Galaxy X Esports taking on Reflection right after this break. Hello and welcome back, everybody, for the final game of the round robin best of one here for Fight Night Rift. We're still following Reflection, and we'll get to see their final opponent of the day in Galaxy X Esports, the only team that we have not seen play yet today, and are also going into this match with a tied record. Both of these teams currently 0-2. So that means we have our final set already. It will be 16-bit Genesis versus Immortals. But AlkBattery, now we get to see the LatAm team against Reflection.
Someone has to win, and also I want Galaxy X Esports to really put a stamp for North America, just because our at least on stream, the LatAm teams or the teams coming from not North America specifically have not performed particularly well at the Fight Night Rift. So if they could, set the example, be like, look, this is how the LatAm teams play. We've had Stamina play, we've had Infinity play as well. Give us a win on stream. I want to see it. I want them to, say, I don't want anybody in Twitch chat to be making fun of our Spanish brethren.
It would be awesome to see that. It'd be really cool for LatAm to pick up a win on stream, of course. But even if they don't, it's still really good experience. And I love that we get this crossover, especially in events like this, where we get two different regions playing against each other. It will only make both regions stronger for it. And that means that the competition at the international stage will also be better. And I think that both of our regions, after what happened at the Horizon Cup, need to get a little stronger. So let's keep this cross, experience rolling.
Yeah, we're gonna need it, especially if I'm looking at China. I'm looking at how Korea is playing. I'm a little scared, Kangas.
They're scary.
I'm gonna need some homies to help me with that one. But yeah, especially since a lot of the players from either Brazil and LatAm play already in the North American server as it is. So there's already a lot of cross-pollination when it comes to them playing in the in-houses, playing in some of the scrims that some of the teams have been setting up. So already a lot of crossover there, and getting to play on stage is obviously a lot different from that environment.
And it's already looking pretty competitive in North America as a microcosm, just us. I mean, Immortals being the top team now, we've had a big turnover from the tribe domination of last year, and now even teams like Sentinels stepping up to the plate. So it's cool that Immortals are still, dominating, but of course, we get to see now these teams go up against each other. So let's take a look at them a little closer. Galaxy X Esports. Now, again, we're going to be learning together about this team, what they bring to the table, what their style is, but Reflection, what have we noted from them so far on the day?
Oh man, they tend to play a lot towards their bot lane, or at least giving blanks a fair shot when it comes to playing in team fights. And again, Boom is just looking to be as aggressive as possible in the jungle. He wants to get a lead for himself, wants to set up their team for success. We'll have to see if it works.
2 Kha'Zix games.
Yep.
2 Kha'Zix games in a row, and the first one absolutely popped off. Second one, hard to get purchase in that game against Immortals regardless, but I'm curious if they'll go for a third game on the Kha'Zix, and also what the side selection will be, because they've been picking it fairly early in these drafts.
Yeah. They've been going for it, I think the same pick, right? Like going for second phase of the first part of the draft, where you're going like blue 2, blue 3, you're picking up Gragas, you're picking up your Kha'Zix, so they're recognizing, look, we want to just blind it for our jungler. They think that Boom is obviously strong enough to pilot this champion and find success. Like you're saying, game 1, it looks strong. 16-bit Genesis obviously got the better of them in that match. And in game 2, I think there were just a few mechanical flubs. Like, I get it. At that point, when you're so far behind, you need to play a little bit more aggressively than maybe a lot of people would expect, because you just need to get any lead you can.
It's the only way back into the game. Yeah, oftentimes slow, calculated play won't bring you back. But this is the reset. This is hopefully a mental reset for the team as well, going into a new game here. Of course, this game, it's just for the experience. It's just for these teams to get those reps in, as both of them are knocked out from the best of 5 finals, which will still be 16-bit Gambit versus Immortals. But if they can do that mental reset and have a strong showing here, these are still players that we know are capable of very impressive performances. A reminder, 2 of them picked up the most improved player from the major that just happened this last weekend in Extirpate and KT, and I think that those are 2 players that I still want to keep my eyes on going forward, because they have pretty high skill ceilings from what we've seen so far. So finding that consistency and finding that go button, that is what I'm going to measure them on right now going into this game. So we're already into pick and ban, Alk. Let's start talking about it. We do see Galaxy X Esports our blue side and Reflection our red.
Okay, so they play their first red side game of the night, if I'm correct, right?
I think their first one might have been red side.
16-bit was blue side, that's correct. Okay, so I'm already wrong. I'll take the L. It's fine.
They ping-pong. They bounce back and forth between the 2.
See what happens. It's Galaxy X Esports. Competitive history-wise, they are a relatively fresh team. They're picking up Zed, which I'm a huge fan of here.
All right. I already love Galaxy X Esports.
There you
I'm
go.
a fan already. Blue 1 Zed. It doesn't get spicier than that. I say as Yasuo was the blue 1 pick for like all
No.
the finals in the
I'm
last major.
trying to forget Yasuo. I want to scrub my mind of Yasuo being a champion in North America. That one.
Yasuo doesn't exist.
That didn't
It's
happen.
Zed. Zed's the hype one for sure. But Fiora is also pretty hype. Reflection finally getting their hands on this.
Yeah. Ooh, and Thresh, something that we haven't seen all night long, has been kind of relegated to a second phase bans, getting hit in the last couple of picks in the draft. So really liking this. Obviously giving KT an engaged champion as well. It's exactly what I want. And now even has a counter matchup as Leona's here.
Yeah, we already saw the Rakan, Galio, and Set banned away, so it makes sense that Reflection would want to grab a support early, but counters were up. Morgana, Leona, it's the Leona locked in for Galaxy X Esports, so they have that engaged, they have that go button now. That means eyes will be on Fearnal again to see if they can go for those, but Orianna paired on top of it means it's Zed jungle, most likely. Or I guess it could be Orianna in that dragon lane, too.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've been having a whole lot of mages in the bot lane, Kangas.
Yeah.
We can't forget about our friends down there. Morgana, like you're saying, is still available and definitely could be a matchup that they could go for. I'm holding my breath just because if Exerbate's going to be picking Fiora, Zed is, in my mind, not the hardest matchup to play. If you're going up against Fiora, it is something that you could try to... it is more of a skill matchup. Fiora has a few ways of getting around it.
Okay, all right. Well, let's see where those solo laners end up going here. As bans will now start to roll through the Gragas ban. Interesting because we already see the Leona locked in there. And as of late, I've been liking Gragas more and more as a support pick, but still can't be played in solo lanes. And the Camille banned away from Reflection. Now, Reflection, they could pivot this jungle. They could still play it in that position.
Yep.
And with that flexibility, it means that Galaxy Esports, they have to start banning away some of these other options. But I want to see some AD carry focus. Ban away some of these marksmen like Varus.
Varus is... I was going to say, Varus just went completely through this draft. And I'm trying to think of where the Zed could go because... Obviously, Zed is more than likely going to be going mid lane, but the Diana matchup is not one that a lot of players are going to be favoriting. It is a pretty tough matchup just because it's so hard to solo kill her, and in team fights, she has as much influence as you can as an assassin. So, taking away that Varus, we'll see what the marksman pick is here for Reflection. They still have Morgana available to them, and if we're keeping up with mages, that would be next in line.
It could be. I wonder if it might be something like the Xayah. Defensive, it can deal with the Leona and the Zed. They're holding it.
Okay.
They're holding it till the end. They're showing that it's Fiora going into that Baron lane and Olaf in the jungle for Boom.
Taking some notes from Immortals. They're like,
yeah,
maybe Olaf is broken. We should just take this champion every time. Galaxy.
He's not going to be wielding the cat ears, though, this time.
Yeah. Jarvan is a really, really good answer into Olaf. Being able to just put him in the cage, you can leave at any point. And a marksman that take down Olaf is pretty difficult. Brand is still available if you want to go for it, but they're going to pick up Renekton. So this is probably just Renekton versus Fiora, which is a pretty tough matchup for Fiora to deal with.
Could be Renekton into the Diana if they want to flex the Zed and the Renekton around. I mean,
that is a good matchup. That is a good matchup. Melee versus melee. Has a good ability to do damage. We're getting Caitlyn here. Well, we haven't seen her since her release. I know she was played a little bit when she got put out, and we were seeing her there, but has kind of taken a dip in priority.
But still, with all these other bot laners banned, I think it's cool that Blanks is going back to this pick. It is the Renekton into that Fiora, though, so no crazy flex pick shenanigans from Galaxy X Esports. Everyone is going into the role that kind of the champions were designed to outside of that Orianna. But I'm not necessarily sure if I'm like heavily favoring either of these drafts. Usually I can walk away from a draft phase like, okay, I really like this one. This one I think they could have done something a little different, but I'm not necessarily like the biggest fan of either of these, but I think both of them have to work with.
Sure. I'll just go ahead and say I really like Galaxy X Esports draft here.
Okay.
Renekton's a strong frontline bruiser that people like Caitlyn really can't deal with. Zed is going to go right into that backline, evaporate her, and Orianna's zone control versus Diana, the Thresh, as well as the Fiora, it's going to be very, very strong. Leona and Jarvan are just fantastic setup pieces for that. So I think it's very clear what they're able to do in a team fight, and for Reflexion, I just don't see that same kind of cohesiveness from their draft.
I see a lot of focus on side lanes from Reflection. If they can get this Fiora rolling, Olaf has that early game to get her there. Some in trouble, though. I'll hold my point as early trade onto the Orianna. But then, of course, the Caitlyn and the Thresh can just kind of hold off a mid lane. They can hold a lane, have decent wave clear, very defensive, both of them with escape tools for the Caitlyn. And then they can play through the side lanes. That's how I imagine Reflection want to play this one out.
Reflection, especially getting onto objectives first, is going to be key. Having vision is going to be very important, not only for Thresh, but make sure that Boom can have a pretty solid amount of information when going for an engage, setting up for your wave, setting up for an Olaf just to run into the backline with Diana.
Already Victor having a really rough trade against Extirpate here, who hasn't even bagged for the fruit yet. And now they're still duking it out here. Victor back to below 50% health. Extirpate can walk back, pick up the honey fruit, and walk back up here. Usually you want to see the Renekton in winning these early trades.
Especially in this matchup, it's very difficult. Renekton, even with Sun, it's kind of like, okay, can you tell when he's going to go for Sun? Can you parry it? This is such a dangerous matchup. Ignite's
down. Might just
down.
be a solo kill. Might be a solo kill. Victor almost turning it around.
He's dead.
The Ignite taken down. Extirpate goes down, and Victor with the 1v1 kill.
Even through Ignite, I was going to say, with Grasp, this Fiora matchup is almost unlosable, but the minion waves, Extirpate going a little too far there, gets punished. Renekton is able to pick up that kill, and even has the Flash Summoner as an advantage, so awesome stuff there in the 1v1 as Reflection, their Baron laner that we had touted as being a massive part of their game strategy, not having a great night tonight.
Full dagger up in the matchup now. This Renekton feeling very comfortable. While that was happening, we did see Fear Moral go up into the mid lane, look at a gank onto Osu. Didn't find much for it, though, as Osu is still just fine with the reset. Hit level 5, has the ultimate, and a back as well. It's Me Omega, interestingly enough, still level 4. I'm not sure what happened to lose out on some of that XP. Maybe it was just Fear Moral actually leeching some of it.
I think it's probably just a little bit of a leech. Does hit level 5 here, just from, passive EXP gains here. This is dangerous. Look at how they set this up. Remember, they did already use the vision plant, so there's no way that Extirpate could have gotten a ward this entire time. They're going for a dive. KT is in here.
Victor bait this in.
Olaf.
Oh, that's down. That means no block on CC and a punish on the flashless Extirpate. That's a second kill for Victor.
Really well set up there from the side of Galaxy, and they should be able to get out. There's no way that Olaf will get under the turret. KT is here, but it's too late. Reflection, their Baron laners being taken advantage of in this matchup as Victor, what can I say? He's finally made it to Wild Rift.
One of the mainstays in League of Legends. But not the champion. This is the player. 2-0 on the Renekton right now. And also has the boots available very close to that Blade of the Ruin King here, which can absolutely swing this matchup. Now Osu could be in trouble. Fear Moral will just not stay in lane. Always looking for these roams. Finds another kill. Fear Moral flashes away for it. But this Leona has just netted so much advantage for Galaxy X Esports.
And it's all about which support can get out onto the map and have the most impactful play and who is kind of following them, right? And right now, Fear Moral is leading the tempo when it comes to that kind of support dance. So taking a kill into the Baron lane, moving into mid, killing Osu, getting that barrier away, setting up now Zed to be a rather strong carry with a lot of gold in their back pocket. They're going to pick up the Edge of Night to try and deal with some of the early crowd control. A fantastic job from Galaxy X Esports. I think their coordination has been excellent so far.
They're rotating around the map and finding the right plays in this early game. 4 minutes on the clock means that objectives are up. And already, Reflection on this Herald. Katie misses the flame, misses the death sentence. But Fear Moral just spotting it out, and it will be secured here as Dragon is traded.
They're just starting up this mid. Oh my god. Okay,
At the flash. As ultimate available, pops it on themselves. Now maybe kill traded right back. Massive solar flare from Fear Moral. But Kazuto does not want to follow up, not confident enough in the play.
Oh, wait. Okay, they need to be able to kill this Rift Herald. It is going to charge. It's going to be one plate. Like 15, 20 HP away from a second plate. It is going to go into the hands of Boom, which if you're Reflection, that's exactly where you want your goal to be. But Right now, that gold lead is not exacerbated quite enough for this Olaf to really get rolling, because it's a little under 1,000 right now. He is farming up. He will be able to finish out his side of the jungle, but your top lane is in a bad state. Extirpate again. Potentially could be dove here, as Victor does have flash. Has to back
You can't
away.
walk up.
Yep.
You have to give up this turret. That should be first brick picked up here by Galaxy's Baron laner. Gifted those kills early on. Well, I guess earned the first one in the 1v1. Gifted the second one and making full use of it. This is what you want to see your Renekton do.
Man, it's such a good topside matchup, especially in such a difficult matchup. Galaxy recognizing we don't really have to do anything bot lane. We have an Orianna. Caitlyn should not have any kill pressure. They might push a few waves. Osu!
Oh, Ursu in trouble. Deathmark used. It's me Omega stays alive, and so does Osu. We talked about the tankiness of Diana. Able to survive all of that.
Yeah, has to use the barrier, has to use the flash as well. So foreign summoners going down there for the mid
Flash out of
laner
Banks
reflection. Yep, they're doing.
Blinks had the flash from the solar flare.
Oh, they're just looking for kills all across the map. This is the full court press that I wanted to see from Galaxy with their draft, and I'm excited to see it here as boom, make the turn.
That's Ragnarok popped. That's not going to stay up for very long. Now the CC comes through. Fear Noel
Ignite.
dies to the Ignite. Omega falls as well. Boom. Providing that damage. Oh, that was cute from KT, but missing it just slightly. The flay lands, death sent, or the cage as well, but Osu and Boom aren't even looking at this. Sub is just fine. Maybe a little bit missed comms right there. That death sentence lands, but now Kazuto will keep some alive.
Talking about missed comms, I mean, Fear Norl should have just said, hey, let's back off of this play, but It's Me Omega goes in. I guess nets 2 kills for Reflection. Not the best. It's not going to save them from this game, but even see right now, under the turret, extirpate. Ignite, tick away, parry, you're done for. Tried to push that wave, tried to be a little greedy.
And now on the bottom lane as well, Osu in trouble. That's 2 kills in quick succession by Galaxy, answering the kills that Reflection just picked up. As now Ragnarok available for Boom again. We'll use it just to scare Galaxy off of this bottom turret.
That was really dangerous right there. I saw the Ragnarok come through. I was like, oh, maybe there's actually a kill here potentially. But for Jarvan, I love this start for Kazuto, recognizing I'm going to be the first one going in, probably the last one out. So let's get a Guardian Angel for ourselves so that we can not be super afraid of dying as well. Awesome
He's
start
for
for
like
Galaxy.
a full 2 minutes now. He went for that very
First item, Guardian Angels, reminding me of Summoner Series beginning of the year, or beginning of last year. It was just, we're just playing for this. KT goes in.
Very aggressive, but Fear Norl is isolated. There's just no range to follow up. Blanks wasn't quite close enough to get a trap follow, so I like it though from KD. Always looking for these picks.
Going for it, being proactive is exactly what we want to see from specifically a Thresh. Now, can Reflection find this dragon? It is an Ocean Drake, but you do not want to give this up. If they can, I think they would much prefer trying to get a Rift Herald so they can break open turrets. But with how much dominance they have from the Baron side of the map, it's going to be a very tough ask.
Very even game state right now. Gold is dead even. One dragon advantage for Galaxy as they look for another one, but it's engaged from Reflection! Big flay from KT, and that will set up everybody to die. Even the GA popped from Kazuto. That's just a straight up one fight from Reflection.
Reflection punishing Galaxy for some pretty greedy pathing, all things considered. It's Me Omega's going to try and finish this turret. It's not going to go down. KT's going to stop it. They're going to grab a dragon, potentially kill this Zed as well.
Zed in trouble.
Oh!
Doesn't flip that sentence. KT under turret. Deathmark used right into the waiting arms of Extirpate.
Oh, and this entire time, there's a mid lane duel. Victor's able to kill Blank solo.
Oh, wow.
Good look.
It's back and forth.
Fear Noil.
Who's winning? I don't even know at this point. KT could go down right here. Fear Noil going for it. Death Sentence onto Sum. That will buy time. Flash from Sum. Stun onto Osu. Plus the shockwave. Osu just barely alive with a shield. Hits Honeymoon, but Victor's here. Walked all the way down. That's more kills over to Galaxy.
Okay, right after I was going to comment Galaxy, their mid game is looking a little bit weak. They're getting caught out in certain positions, but Victor at this point is so far ahead of the game.
He's
playing Renekton. He's just going lane by lane. He doesn't care. He's going to solo kill your marksman. He's going to solo kill your mid laner. Under turret as well. He's utilizing the lead that they gained early on into the game to help his team now. Whereas if that hadn't happened, this would have been an even play for Reflection.
5-0-1 for Victor on that Renekton pick. Absolute dominated performance, and he's going to look for blanks again. Look at the bottom lane. Victor spots out a Caitlyn, says, all right, come here, Sheriff. Who's hunting who now? Victor's got the damage. The headshot's coming through for Blanks, actually doing a lot
Victor?
to respond. Flashes away. Blanks with the outplays. Blanks! That was beautiful! Picks up the kill in the 1v1. Now Fear Noral shows up a little late. Osu binds space. Osu with the moonfall. Shockwave response only finds one. It's a killing spree. It's a double kill. It's Reflection coming out on top.
Blanks! I don't know if maybe he has some Graves practice, because that's exactly how you play around if there's a Graves enemy team, right? You just get in front of something and you play like parallel lines. You're like, okay, you're staying in the opposite side. I'm not going to get close to you. Blanks. Good patience, playing that out, and killing Victor. A massive shutdown for them. Gold as well in their pocket for killing all those members of Galaxy. The mid game is still a little bit of a whoopsie here for Galaxy, as Reflection are punishing them each and every time.
That is the biggest feels-good moment for an AD carry possible. Fed Renekton, 5-0.
Oh, God.
Isolated, on top of you, and you say, all right, I'm going to hold my head high, keep a calm mind, and just outplay him. Just straight up outplay him. That was insane. Now 5,000 gold lead for Reflection, as Victor has the GA this time around, but it's just full control currently for the side of Flex.
And I love how KT's also just looking for these plays. We praise them for their aggressive looks earlier on.
That was the zoning death sentence. That was the zoning death sentence. Force the reposition. Now the backline, watch out for Blanks. Still alive. The team's going forward. Blanks is sacrificed. All right, that time around, Victor gets his revenge, but he's lost his own team for it as Extirpate gets the kill onto Sum. Now Victor's got to run away. Dominus popped, but look at Kazuto just backing, leaving Victor all alone. Victor in a 1v3 will get the kill onto KT. Still the GA will get popped. Extirpate and Osu are both here. How much damage can Victor do? Not a lot can be done, and will fall down.
They summon the Rift Herald just to try and get something a little bit extra, and will get the mid-tier 1 away from Reflection. But this game is running away from Galaxies. Recognizing how that team fight went, right? Like, everybody's going forward. Caitlyn's like, I cannot catch up, especially if there's Jarvan and Renekton. But they traded backlines. And now Extirpate, after being far down, has now hit a pretty massive power spike. Trinity Force plus Blade of the Ruin King on Fiora makes her super difficult to get away from if she wants to fight you.
And speaking of item power spikes, Blanks with triple items on the AD carry, also very scary. So despite Galaxy picking up a couple kills there, still looking like it's favoring Reflection at this state of the game. Baron spawned, Dragon up. Everyone's grouping around this bottom objective.
Look at this, we're waiting for Extirpate to get here. It's Me Omega is coming. We'll clear out this mid wave. They need to be able to play around the shockwave. It'll be a huge game changer. They just don't go for it.
Dragon's done. Reflection, just get it.
Okay.
Interesting to see. A little bit of hesitation for Galaxy there. Not quite ready for the play, so even though they're positioning for it, they can't make it in time. Now Kazuto looking onto Osu. Forces flash out of Diana.
Okay. Galaxy X Esports, they recognize if we give that Dragon, if we end up dying in the pit there, very likely the Reflection just goes straight to Baron and the game from there. So, not wanting to lose the game quite yet there as 1v1.
Ooh, Victor. Okay, has to run away. Pops the Dominus, but he's just going to die too fast, does he? Okay, that was close, but still will go down.
Okay, something I didn't know as an interaction, I'll hold that as KT goes in.
Oh, I like it, Katie, getting so aggressive. Shockwave used. Some doesn't have a lot of damage anymore, but it's Me Omega doing the deeps as the Zed. Kazuto trying to frontline. Boom, just running past everybody. Extirpate trying to keep up. Blanks trying to keep up. Some taking damage. Those Caitlyn autos do a lot.
Okay, Zed ult there. Not as premium as it could be. The Thresh had 1 HP. We could find another target. Maybe even pop the GA on Boom. Maybe go for something onto Extirpate. Fortunately, for Galaxy, again, Victor, despite the early game lead, has now died repeatedly. Whereas Reflection are getting gold. They don't want to give this up now.
Fear Noral has no fear as he's walking up onto Osu there, but can't quite land it. And it's showing the Galaxy are kind of in that spot that we've been talking about occasionally throughout the day, Alk. When you're behind on gold, you gotta look for plays.
Yeah. Speaking about that, the interaction, I didn't know that was possible. I did not know that when you're in Grand Challenge, Proto Belt procs one of the marks. That is
Really?
really OP.
That is bizarre. Well, right there, we actually got to see it. Extirpate chasing down some shockwave use, some into stasis, buying time. Victor's here onto Extirpate. Very low health on the Fiora, and now the death mark comes through. That's the stasis on Osu. No flash available. Uses the Moonfall. Boom just chasing away the AD carry. Some is down, and now Boom in a 1v4 double kill. Keeps the chase going. Doing so much damage. Finally into GA. Nice death sentence from Katie. Keeping the play going. It's me, Omega in trouble. Blanks with the autos. Blanks with the kill. Boom comes back up and takes on Kazuto. And that's maybe just the game. Big gold lead for Reflection, but the bigger story here is they got 3 members strong. What can Victor do? Gia on the Renekton. It's scary enough. Reflection back away.
Oh my god, there were some mixed comms there. Boom was like, maybe we could go for the end. I'm playing Olaf for crying out loud. And you see KT and Blank's like, okay, take the jungle camps, start up this Baron. Watch for teleports now as Sum is going to be coming up. Fear Null will be here. Osu and Expert just now coming back onto the map. Can Victor save this game for his team? Baron, it's pretty slow right now. A lot of time to
doing a lot of damage to Boom. Boom doesn't have the GA, but those Caitlyn traps makes it just impossible to get into that pit. So Baron secured, and a massive gold lead for Reflection. That's 11k, and they haven't even all backed yet.
I'm so afraid to look at this gold lead.
Wait a minute. Katie, this is a little aggressive. The rest of the team's not here right now.
Oh!
That's a big solar flare, plus the Moonfall engage from Osu, and now the flank from Extirpate. That's huge if you're doing the damage in the fight. But It's me Omega still alive. Goes back in. Victor with the stuns. Double kill over to Extirpate. It's me Omega! Trying to do what he can in the 1v1 against Fiora, but has to run away.
Still with Barons. He'll be able to reset. Randuin's Omen finished here for Victor. Is he tanky enough, even with these minions?
Ragnarok used. There's going for the end. Reflections say this game is over. We will not go victorless throughout the Fight Night Rift, and they pick up their first win.
After a doomed early game, that comeback win is impressive. I can't wait to see the gold graph on this game, because it's gonna look pretty dumb. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna go stupid. It's gonna go up, down. It's actually even.
It's a plateau because the early game, they were just so neck and neck. It was constantly plays happening on cross-map sections where both teams got gold at like the exact same time, so it didn't even move.
You would think.
But then, of course, Reflection got away with it.
You would think with what was happening in the Baron lane, the fact that they found multiple kills, we were talking about Fear Null in the early game. I think their first 5 minutes were really, really strong. They obviously had an early game plan that they came into the game with. It's just that mid-game where we saw them getting picked out, specifically players like Sum getting caught by the Thresh. KT having a fantastic game this time around on the Thresh, and it just fell apart from there.
But look at Boom's performance on this Olaf. That was the big difference maker. 6,000 gold ahead individually over the enemy jungle player. 10-0. Really impressive from Boom. We went into this day looking at Extirpate and KT as the 2 players that had won awards over the last weekend. We know the team plays through blanks. But Boom, a big standout performer on the day.
Doing a ton of damage, and obviously being that aggressive jungler. We should have seen that coming with, the 2 COGS games that we got. They are going to play in your face. They are going to try and rough you up, look for gold, and Olaf is definitely the champion that kind of excels in that kind of gameplay.
So a reminder that was the last game of the round robin best of ones. Reflection picking up a win. Feels great. Galaxy X Esports, thank you for participating. It was awesome seeing another LATAM team represented here. It's still good for both regions for this cross competition. But the finals will still be Immortals versus 16-bit Genesis. But before we get too much into that, let's take a look one last time at the overall schedule once we're ready for it, because we got to give justice to all the teams that participated. And it looks like Immortals 16-bit Genesis is still going.
That's even faster. That's the slowest game they've played today for Immortals. So props to them. Props to 16-bit Genesis, making sure that Immortals are stuck in that game. They're like, we're not stuck in here with you. You're here with us.
That is exciting. That is exciting because Immortals have been speed running up until this game, and the fact that they're not done yet means that we might actually have a final on our hands here, Alk. We have yet to have a sweep. At least from my recollection, unless something happened 2 weeks ago that I missed out, but so far, every finals winning team has at least dropped a game. So Immortals, who knows? They might actually have a tough time of bucking that trend.
I'm a little bit afraid. I was kind of worried that during that graphic we were going to see like the ticker swap and just see Immortals win. It's like, okay, well,
yeah.
Well, great timing from us, but no. I'm glad to see that 16 Genesis are at least pushing the envelope against Immortals, and we'll have to see if that's a reflection of what we get in our finals.
Ooh, I like it. Tying it all together here. In a galaxy where that happens, that would be awesome. But we won't know until we're back from this break. We're going to send it to a short one while we give them time to finish up and then get ready for our best of 5 grand finals between 16-bit and Immortals after this.
Introducing Fight Night Rift, a bi-weekly Wild Rift event hosted by GiantSlayer. 4 teams will be invited to compete in a round-robin best-of-1 format where the top 2 teams in the round-robin will play in the finals to decide the winner of that week's Fight Night. And the best part of it all, anyone can join. Head over to GiantSlayer.tv/WR to sign up and have a chance to be invited to compete in the next Fight Night. Our hope with the Fight Night Rift is to create a place to develop North American talent in a grassroots environment. Will you be the next Fight Night Rift champion? We'll see you on the Rift.
Hello and welcome back, everybody, for the best of 5 grand finals for this week's Fight Night Rift. We have the #1 team, currently reigning champs of North America in Immortals, taking on challengers in 16-bit Genesis. Now, they were still in their match against each other when we went to break Alk, but we do know Immortals picked up the victory. So they're already up 1-0 in this rivalry.
Yep, and now it's time for the bracket. This is like a miniature bracket reset now. It's like, okay, that game technically didn't matter. It'll give like one team, I think, side selection just because they'll come in first, but who cares? We are here to go for a full best of 5, especially for 16-bit Genesis. They are looking to try and beat the Titans of North America.
Yeah, and I believe what were you saying? You noticed something on Twitter or in a Discord, 16-bit having a little bit of a smack talk before their last game.
So before that match, their coach Ryder was like, "We have never lost to Immortals before." Side note, they never played them before, so it was fine. And then 30 minutes later, he's like,
"Yeah,
never mind. Just kidding."
Tough to lose if you've never played them, but now 16-bit Gambit, or rather Genesis, have had an opportunity to go up against Immortals and feel that power. But it did take a little bit. I mean, this was not the Immortals speed run in 13, 12-minute games that we saw in their first 2 of the day. So I still am hoping that we have a full series on our hands, or at least 4 games, just because nobody wants to see a sweep. And it's just not tradition here at Fight Night Rift. We never get sweeps.
We get
it's not in the script.
Yeah, we get 4 games. Like,
yeah,
it's fine.
4 ones across the board.
Yeah.
But we still have yet to have an upset in the grand finals either. So that means good news for Immortals. It just means that it probably won't be the cleanest best of 5, right? They got to drop 1.
Well, if you want an upset, then you can get 2. They can get 2, maybe even 3, and we can call it a true upset at that point. I think to set the bar here for anybody who's just joining North American Wild Rift, I think if 16-bit Genesis win 1 game, that will be enough of an upset for me.
I mean, that would feel fantastic for a team that came in, already took down Reflection, who 2-0'd them in their second qualifiers going into the major that just happened this last weekend. So if you didn't catch much of 16-bit Genesis, if they're still a newer organization to you, it's because they didn't make it the furthest in that first major.
Nope.
But showing up in events like this is a great way to get experience. This is now a best of 5 that they get under their belt against the #1 team in North America. There are teams that would kill for this opportunity because this is huge for just player development, player growth, and learning the style that has been winning in NA. So let's see what that style is. As 16-bit Genesis are on the blue side, they lock in set first pick against Immortals on red.
Interesting, and they already knew coming into this draft that they wanted to go for set because they banned the Fiora. They said, look, we don't want to play this terrible matchup. Might as well pick up the set for ourselves. And now you're kind of looking at Immortals as to what are they going to be picking up. Obviously, Diana here for Hoon again, but they've also been showing a lot of proactivity to try to pick up Lamont's jungle pick. So is it going to be another kind of look for them? As they got rid of the Olaf. I think the Lee Sin would be really, obviously, in his wheelhouse as an aggressive jungler. Could see something of a different variety, but Charm's back on Thresh duty. He's like, nope, okay, you got your Yuumi game. The coach is like, I'm done. Just play Thresh, man.
I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to be the cat ears on the champion that's having fun.
Charm wants to play Yuumi.
Do it for the fans, then. Do it for the fans. Play Thresh. It's more flashy. But finally, a brand lock-in. This has oftentimes made it to the second round of bans, but early pickup for 16-bit Genesis.
Okay, getting the set for Hide Don't Hurt Me. Brand obviously doing a lot. We'll have to see what Immortals drafts, because if there's more melee-focused champions, then the Wukong and the Brand are going to get a ton of value from Immortals.
Absolutely. This is a really strong engage and peel style already. Team fight seems to be the name of the game because Set can reposition a front line into the back line while Brand is ulting. So you kind of like deliver the Pyroclasm onto the backline members, which is actually terrifying. And then you factor in the Wukong spin on top of it. These 3 alone have an insane combo. Difficult to pull off. It's not going to be the easiest thing in the world, but like theoretically, it's scary. And Immortals answer with a Riven pick, probably for Lamont, if I had
Riven I find so interesting here just because a lot of people, and myself included, would say that, you know, if we're going to play into Set, it's not a great matchup. Lose the 1v1, even if it is Set support. Come to team fights, Set is more than likely just going to take you out of the fight and make it so that it is a 4v4 where his team will then win the rest of that without your interference. He can keep you out of fights for such a long time with the Facebreaker and the ultimate. So,
and that's going to be the prime target to then ult back into the enemy team. Get the Riven away from your backline, which she's going to want to dive onto. So, yeah, it's interesting choice. Maybe a little bit of flexing here for Immortals. But they are going to ban away the Galio, ban of Ziggs for 16-bit Genesis, because Immortals haven't locked in their Dragon Laner yet. So this is an opportunity for 16-bit Genesis to pinch that pool.
Goom has shown, mechanical excellence on a ton of a variety of marksman champions. So with all the mages gone, and with the Diana in your mid lane, I wonder if they go to reach for the Lucian again. Getting rid of an assassin means that they probably are going to have a little bit of a squishier marksman. Could be a Corki here. I'm not
I would
most
ban
excited.
The Orianna. If I'm 16-bit Genesis, I think maybe Orianna is the focus right now.
Maybe.
She's still up. It can pair pretty well with the Riven and the Diana, so yeah, they take that off.
Okay. Getting rid of Orianna, making sure that Goom can't pick it up. What is Immortals? What is your response here? Do you just blind your Baron lane matchup? I mean, we don't even know where the Riven is going. I'm assuming this is probably for Lamont, unless they're going to try and pick up a Lee Sin, maybe go for something like I don't know, Xin Zhao. It looks like Kai'Sa here.
Okay. All right. Interesting setup. I mean, she can follow up on the dive that they have already with the Diana and the Riven, but we already talked about how hard it will actually be to pull off that dive because of the set, because of the Wukong. So this feels like Immortals are just kind of like tripling down on this style, and 60-bit Genesis have already drafted pretty decent answers into it. And if they just go full beef balls right now, just Darius, I don't even know what else they could go for right now in the mid lane. Garen mid lane, just like go straight up tanks as a composition. That could be really tough for Immortals.
Garen would be a bit of a tougher matchup. I think it wouldn't provide as much utility for the team. I still want to say a little bit of damage. Maybe an assassin in this case. I wouldn't be super mad about that. So the brand will be there to whittle them down. The Kai'Sa matchup, now that we can think about it a little bit more in context with the rest of the draft, he's going to be a little tough just because Killer Instinct going into Wukong, trying to play a little more defensive, is going to be very tough. So Mortals looking to try and smash the early game, play around Kai'Sa's very strong one-item power spike with her Acathian Rain. And now you just look at this, like you have a bunch of champions who are very, very individually strong. Maybe doesn't mix as well.
But this is Immortals basically throwing the gauntlet here, like playing the Renekton into the Darius. This is kind of like probably the most standard top lane match that we've seen so far on the day.
Yeah.
Very classic. We've seen this since Wild Rift first came out. And then the mid lane matchup, also the APs against each other. It's pretty standard for Immortals. Like nothing's too spicy outside of maybe that Kai'Sa, you could argue. And that could be the focus for them in this early game. If Thresh lands those death sentences, especially onto that brand, you can blow them up relatively quickly.
I think the problem here for 16-bit Genesis is this Wukong. Wukong doesn't have the best time versus someone like a Diana who can reposition him. Same thing with something like the Thresh. If 16-bit Genesis are ahead, then this Immortals draft is going to crumble, and it's going to be really tough for them to find fights. But brand needs to be on top of their positioning. If ever they are caught out, 16-bit Genesis, their whole team falls apart.
They just don't have a lot of damage after that point. They can survive quite a while. They can engage, but they will have difficulty actually cleaning up some of those fights. So pressure on Too Young as the brand, putting in work here. Zoro already taking a rough trade against Dawn in this Baron lane too.
Uh-oh, we're fighting.
That's a lot of damage. I don't hurt me. Flash! And a first blood kill before a minute has passed for Goo.
You would have thought, hey, they're playing Set, right? Which is a champion so dangerous at level 1 to play against, especially as the threat. But, I mean, they just went for it. And Goom, finding the kill, putting their lane at such a massive advantage. Charm, aggressive positioning. I love this.
Do they know where Charm is? They might actually not know where Charm is. He's level 2. Death Sentence. Where's it going to go out? Hit Too Young. That's the focus right now.
Nice.
Oh, nice sidestep.
Hey, good sidestep there. Ends up saving the laning phase. At least not getting the flash out. Oh, Rocky!
But it's a safe top lane. Dawn barely getting that honey fruit in time.
That turret aggro just clutched it for Immortals there. If that turret ends up firing one shot at Araki, you have to think with the hemorrhage stacks there, that's just a death, as really, really good punish here now for Immortals, as this entire wave is going to get eaten up by the turret.
I almost wonder if Dawn could have gotten a kill answered back if he had ignited, but doesn't. Means that Summoner Spell advantage does exist for the Baron lane of 16-bit right now, as Lamont actually roams up with a really good timer. He's looking for Dawn.
Hoon's here.
Bot side, but we want to look top, try bush, and yeah, nice rotation from Hoon and Lamont.
Man, Kangas, if you thought the lane was hard already, the lane is now officially over. Speaking of which, bot lane.
Oh god! Oh no! I don't hear me ignited again. That's a kill on time. Too young walking up. Look at the trade. Does find the trade and flashes for safety.
Just gets autoed down by Brand, but coming back to this top lane matchup, Lamont is still here. Still level 4. They're just like, okay, we need to go for a reset. Okay. We cannot go for this dive. There's a massive wave that Dawn ended up getting a little bit of, but level 5 already now for Rocky Zoro. And Dawn, basically an entire 1,000 gold down. It is so rough in this matchup for the
That
Darius.
is a full 1,000 gold. That is literally a 1,000 gold differential between these two right now. And Rocky Zoro coming in with a full recurve advantage. That's extra damage from attack speed and from the on hit. And that will be very hard for Dawn to recover from, because now even the Ignite's back up. Mid lane, meanwhile, Hoon going for the 1-1 onto EU Import. Finds it! Solo kill for Immortals mid lane.
So now that they've ruined the top lane matchup, Hoon already had a very good individual 1v1 versus Akali. Bot lane, they are destroying this set. Can he find the return?
Oh, Dawn! Nicely done! Showing Rocky Zoro, you cannot disrespect me. You're ahead in items, but I got the damage.
The Kindle gem gives him a little bit more HP.
He's gonna get punished. He's
no.
gonna get punished. Sticking around for one more wave. The bane of every Baron laner. I know your pain, Dawn, as Lamont will clean up a kill.
Okay, I understand what Dawn is trying to do. He wants to get this wave under the turret. Look at it. It is literally 2 cannon creeps trying to stop Araki from getting this, but he's going to arrive just in time. Lamont is going to grab the kill there, and while it will equalize the lane just a little bit, it is still getting hard carry members like Lamont a lot of resources when Ishida hasn't had much influence so far.
Look at the kills for Immortals. 1 on every single member, and an assist on most except for Iraqi Zoro, who only got the 1 himself. Mortal is participating everywhere on the map and winning out on it. Now Too Young, nice stun onto Iraqi Zoro. Doesn't throw out the ultimate, saving that one for a potential fight. But the burst from Goom is just filthy.
He is level 7 right now. Hoon is fighting Ishida.
And winning the fight, mind you. Ishida has to pop the ultimate.
There it is.
Now with the help of EU Import, might get the kills. Hoon finds it first, flashes away. Import getting very aggressive.
Oh no!
There's no lantern, there's no safety, there's flash available, but EU Import will not use it. Wait, he's alive? No way.
They're
Goom's gonna
BMing
chase this
him.
down, right?
Yeah.
Goom's gonna get this kill, right?
He's got
As the
it.
flash. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Alright. Respect to EU Import. You understood. Goom does so much damage right now. Not only just, again, being level 7 super early on, but the Acathian Rain, when it's on one target, it is disgusting what he's able to do. Chunks out Heido and Hermie on the set. Does the same thing to Ishida. EU Import also faces the Wrath as all this, the amount of time Immortals wasted, does mean that the first turret does go down. Tries to help out Dawn there. Will have a little bit of a lead now compared to his counterpart, but it's not enough in my mind. You still need to be able to win team fights, and Infernal Drake going over means that the damage component of Immortals is still going to scale.
Oh, big death sentence. The Flay as well. EU Import taking again. Oh, the full brunt of damage from Kaisa. One final auto. That's a killing spree.
Once that passive procs, you are going to die 9 times out of 10. They're going to set up for this dive. Zin is here. Watch this set. Can he keep them interested in this dive?
Watch Lamont's damage. Literally just assassinating the set. Dawn will win the 1-vote against Iraqi Zoro. That's big. Flashes, looking for the flashy play, but not quite, as Lamont still survives.
It's okay. Darius doesn't have a stun in his kit, but that one hit me. That one got me stunned. I was like, oh! I like the flash idea. If he lands the hemorrhage stack, he already had the hemorrhage stacks. If he lands the heal, maybe he could do something with his reset on the Noxian Guillotine. But Lamont is now so dangerous. You look across from him. Goom as well. Rocky has died a few times in the lane's matchup. Oh my!
That's a good flash from I Don't Hurt Me. Gets flash out of Goom. So trade back and forth. Ooh, the death sentence barely goes wide right there. as Too Young still has the brand ultimate. If we can land some CC, if we can land that engage from High Don't Hurt Me, we can maybe see that set brand combo I was talking about earlier.
I'll take it.
They don't fish for it.
I mean, I'll take trading my support's flash for Goom. If they can find this kill onto Kaisa, that's a massive shutdown in their back pocket, just waiting to be picked up. And Too Young does have the Seraphs. It's going to be a scaling component. They did get hit on this patch, but still very, very good at trying to protect your carries and healing off of the damage. So I have to see if 16-bit Genesis, can they actually find a way back into the game, because they are really far behind despite, you know, some of the way that they've come back in some of these fights.
6k gold lead right now for Immortals as I Don't Hurt Me chunked out in that mid lane. Focus on the bot lane though. Dawn walking up onto Iraqi's row. Doesn't have a turret here. Charm and Goom are collapsing. Nice play. Dawn does not have the flash, but he does have backup. The team comes in to save their Baron laner. Ashita jumping forward. That's one kill. That's a Darius reset. It's traded back as Ashita will fall. Goom on the rampage.
Okay, but now they've given up mid-tier 1. So this is a dangerous proposition. Immortals gladly handshaking this as Iraqi goes a little too far. The fact that Set is able to live throughout that entire exchange is surprising. Same thing with Dawn, but they make it work. They get a kill, but slowly bleeding objectives on the maps. This is what we've been praising Immortals throughout the major for the WNS, is their ability to rotate around the map, play it at such a really high level here in North America. See what they can get for the trade.
This is our #1 team. These are our champions reigning right now. And it's a good look for Immortals currently here, making quick work of the early game against 16-bit in the first game of this best of 5. 7k up as the Baron is spawned. Actually, no, we're too early. That's not even
Herald.
Rift Herald. That's Rift Herald number 2.
Got to get the Rift Tail. It's just now spawning. Basically on respawn they're getting it. And the timer is such a good one for Immortals that they can just move straight to Dragon. It's going to be up to 16-bit. Where can they find an advantage? Can they find a pick somewhere on the opposite side? Maybe Iraqi goes a little too far. Seems like they're focusing a lot of efforts with their 3 core here, trying to get into the bot lane. But Rift Herald, with the wave coming in from Iraqi, such a tough position for their opposition.
Immortals are getting a lot here.
Oh.
Immortals are getting so much done. They even push in the bot wave. They'll take this tier 2 turret. EU import has to run away, already using the smoke screen. As now Ashita's joining into the fight. Iraqi's pops the Dominus. Forward goes Lamont! He only knows one direction, and it is in. The rest of the team now comes up. Immortals with the death sentence from Charm. High Don't Hurt Me should fall. Flashes to safety.
Goom!
Immortals are getting everything on the map. Goom dives the turret. Doesn't find the kill.
Oh, so close there. The bot lane for Immortals playing aggressive as ever. Seems like Lamont is really the leader when it comes to going forward, but the rest of his team is not afraid to do so. If at the drop of a hat they just need to go for it. So Crashing Herald, grabbing another 2 turrets in their favor. They're gonna grab all of these tier 2s outside of the base as Immortals.
Oh. Yeah,
Uh-oh!
Who had a little too much fun with it. Oh, but it was a bait! The 420 IQ play! It was insane.
Pulled
EU
over
import
right into
goes
his
a little
team.
too far forward, yeah. Did not expect that one, as now the rest of Immortals going forward. High Don't Hurt Me jumping in. That's damage at the Charm. That's Dawn flashing forward. Doesn't get the reset. And he's punished for it. Now Immortals can just run through 16-bit. And there's no opposition at this point. This is a massive gold lead and a dominant performance from our #1 team.
Lamont almost goes down there, but he's like, I'm right in the thick of it. They tried to pull 16-bit Genesis around the Dragon, and kills they got. High Don't Hurt Me, just barely not able to survive, as well as Dawn. That shield on Charm comes in last second clutch, saving him. Even if they would have gotten the kill, wouldn't have meant much for 16-bit Genesis, but for Immortals now, this is their game to play with. They're obviously so far ahead, 14,000 gold. They've won each and every one of their matchups at this point, so it is just a matter of formalities. How do they close this out?
Yeah, can they close it out? Where do they look to end the game? Goom's actually all the way in their top jungle right now, just clearing out, while the rest of Immortals are doing the work that they need to. That's a kill and a killing spree for Hoon. Just chasing out the rest of 16-bit, who just can't even win this fight. Zoro joins in. That's 3, make it 4. only EU import left alive with the full wave up top. That's the death sentence as well. EU import goes in, looking for the hero play, the miracle, but can't even find a kill because of stasis for Hoon. Zoro will die to the turret, but that is game for Immortals. They will move up 1-0 in this best of 5 grand final.
That one hurts the soul. That one hurts the man as he ends the game.
Wait, do they?
Not potentially.
Do
They don't have a wave. Dawn.
It's not over yet. Dawn's up. Dawn gets 1 kill. Oh! But picked up and cannot find a second. But that bought time. This game's not over.
Oh my god, it's so close for them. They're just trying everything. They barely are able to not end the game. It's going to be another wave. They're going to wait for potentially the next one to come into the top lane. Maybe they wait for the next dragon, but I don't think we're going to have another 4 minutes in this game before Immortals end.
Yeah, Immortals, they can literally walk up as 5. Just walk through top lane. They don't even need a minion wave at this point, and they can probably win the fight. But if they find picks, that's even better. That sentence onto Ashita.
Run!
The clone.
The clone!
Get out of there.
Get out of there, bud! You don't want to be there. This is not your map anymore. You can't leave base. You can barely leave the fountain at this point. 60-bit, just waste Immortals' time. You're waiting for game 2 at this point. You're just like, okay, what do we need to change? Was it a strategy problem? Was it a draft issue? Let's just start thinking about game 2 as try to waste Immortals' time.
At this point, win the mental battle. Kill Goom once.
Yes.
Do not let this sucker get away with no deaths. That is your objective at this point. Can they accomplish it? Dawn's looking for the flank, but he's picked off. He's very low. He's already dead. And I don't even think it's going to happen. Goom dominating right now like the rest of Immortals as they continue the chase down. Nice death sentence again. Charm just cannot miss these. And it's a 4-for-0 trade. Once again, EU import the last member alive. Can't find anything. Clean ace for Immortals as they push through the bottom lane and take down the Nexus.
There it is. It's maybe about 45 seconds too late from our last call, but Immortals take game 1 in our best of 5. And they do it in dominant fashion. Nothing too out of the ordinary from what we were expecting coming into this series, but some hiccups, to say the least, especially in the Baron lane. After those couple solo kills there, Dawn was starting to get the better of Araki.
That was, I would say, a good look for 16-bit's early game. They had little pockets that they could play through, but Immortals are a team that we've seen consistently. If they don't get a lead, they can come back, but if they have a lead, it is very tough to shut them down. And once they started running away with it around that 6-minute mark, yeah, the game was pretty much over from that point. Immortals just have such a good control over the Rift.
Yep. I mean, they were winning the Dragon Lane duo. Mid lane was obviously a complete smash, and we didn't really get to see too much of Ashita. Last time we saw them, it was on the Wukong, and so kind of missing a lot in this series. So I do want to see them step up, especially when you're going up against Lamont. It is scary to obviously go up against one of the best players in North America. You need to kind of just shake it off, say, look, we're here to play our game. We can't get caught up in Immortals and what they're trying to do. I need to be able to influence some of our lanes a little bit earlier.
Shoutouts to Charm. That's a lot of damage for a Thresh. 10k, 553.
Yeah.
Can we get Smacks to watch some of that gameplay?
No.
I hate to smack talk him so much when he's not around, but I mean, come on. Where are the damage numbers, man?
Yeah, usually it's because he's helping either Rafa get some more damage numbers or maybe our mid lane to get a few more damage and get a little bit more kills. I'm usually the one that has...
10k is around your damage numbers because you're just left in lane and
I'm left in lane. I'm getting dove by the enemy jungler. What can I do?
That's a tough life to be an AD carry in. What healer are you all at right now?
I don't want to talk about
Emerald
it.
Push and Diamond?
I don't want to talk
Emerald
about
Push
it.
and Diamond?
I don't want to talk
Somewhere around
about
there?
it.
Hey, it's higher than I'm still Plat Chad right now, trying to grind my way up.
I'm
Emerald. I'll
also
join
Plat
you.
Chat. I'm hard stuck Plat Chat right now. I got into Emerald. Demoted.
Let's go.
So
I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one on the cast.
I'm with you, buddy.
Hey, we'll grind together over this week, leading into this next weekend. But 1-0 for Immortals. I don't think this is a big surprise for anybody watching, as they are the favorites on the day. Favorites in any match that they go into, no matter what the team is, because they are the current reigning champions. So let's look at it from a perspective and think about what is their goalpost from this point going forward in this series. Is it still try your best to take a game, or is it just try your best to show what you got against Immortals?
I think ultimately taking a game would be really difficult against Immortals because we've seen against the top 4 in North America them have a deficit at an early game, right? We were talking about taking down a Rocky Zoro in a lot of cases. Hoon maybe not having the best games on the day, and that is where they could potentially find themselves about 3,000 to 4,000 behind at about 7 minutes. But then they still come back because they're either playing the map when it comes to getting turret takes on a side lane, or playing for objectives like the Rift Herald and the Dragon. And they come back, slowly claw into the game, and they're able to get wins.
The biggest thing about Immortals is you can just watch like 30 seconds before an objective spawns. Start watching, as I can tell your dog also has their own thoughts on the match.
Yep.
Watch what Immortals does 30 seconds before an objective spawns. Often, they're resetting at the same time. They understand these windows. They're going into the jungle at the same time. They're pushing waves at the same time. They're coordinating the map rotations in a way that most teams are not doing effectively in North America. You see hints of this in most of the top teams. You see, examples where they pull it off, but it's the consistency that Immortals is able to pull them off that's the most impressive to me.
So, coming back to what we were talking about for 16-bit Genesis, I think winning a game is ultimately like the tip of the mountain, right? Like we're there, we're at the peak.
Okay.
Once we get to like maybe Mark 1 or Mark 2, that is just having a solid early game. Maybe putting Immortals down a few thousand gold and having a game plan coming in. The first 5 minutes, the first 7 minutes, that right there is where I'm looking for if 16-bit Genesis can show us a little bit of a deeper strategy, because so far their lanes have been kind of passive. We haven't seen really big set plays where we're watching Hi Don't Hurt Me walk into Baron lane. We saw it in the earlier series versus Reflection. Mid lane was a massive point of contention, but not able to free that up with the early trades. He was stuck in the Dragon lane.
So, are you a rock climber, Alk? Have you ever gone rock climbing before?
No, I've done like the little ones when like you go to like an outlet mall and they have like the big wall that's set up. They hook you up.
Okay.
And kind of just like do. I've done that before
a
couple times.
Well, I'm not a rock climber either. I do enjoy it, but I'm going to stretch for an analogy here. Because when you're actually rock climbing in a mountain, you have those pegs, right? You put them in, you build your way up with that rope. That's where 16-bit is right now. They're building their way up the mountain. So that's the goalpost that we're looking for this next game. How do you equalize the early game? Don't let Immortals get that early game lead above you. That's that first peg that you're hammering in to get your rope through. So that way, if you fall later on, hey, at least you can get caught, because Immortals don't have this massive lead at the top of you.
Unfortunately, falling off of this mountain in this case just means you lose the series. Like,
falling
off the mountain, you're just like, I'm back at the bottom. This is more like Get Over It if you've played that game, where you're
it's
just
not
like,
at the bottom though, because they have that initial peg in, that first rung. So
I
it
guess.
catches them. Yeah, there we go. See, the analogy's working. You're starting.
You get a
to
checkpoint
understand.
for all the gamers. If you're like, what the hell is rock climbing?
I'm sure most.
It's a checkpoint.
I'm talking to a
It's a
bunch of
checkpoint.
mobile gamers right now. I don't know how many of you. Shout out to the rock climbers in chat right now. I've gone bouldering a couple.
All
of times.
all three of the rock climbers in chat are like, Kangas, respect, man. You called me out. I get ignored in Twitch chat all the time. All these nerds, these gamers, they don't understand.
My physical activity that I do is mostly, I have a background in some powerlifting, and that's transitioned into arm wrestling ever since, COVID lockdown. So grip strength, hand strength, finger strength, that's my grind. And rock climbers have really strong grip strength. So shout out and respect to all rock climbers out there.
I was going to say,
True
mobile
homies.
gaming is really good for just like social distancing. You don't have to be next to each other. On your phone, in your thing.
And you know what helps with mobile gaming is having strong wrists and hands. You know? It helps you game for longer. Wrist health, everybody.
Powerlifting's good at social distancing. I don't know about arm wrestling. It seems like you're going to be in contact with other people. We've got a draft here.
Mostly. All right, man. We can finally get into the next game that everyone's been waiting for. Thank you for bearing with us, everybody. Immortals versus 16-bit Genesis for Game 2. And now we have swapped sides here. Immortals find themselves on the blue side.
Okay, this time around, they're going to be able to first pick the Fiora. 16-bit Genesis miss out on a ban, I think. Just want to make sure that production didn't just like send us a quick message saying, hey, by the way, is a fix, but we'll get that later on.
I don't know if we're getting ganked or if they actually did miss one, but either way, we'll catch you up as soon as we know. The Fiora locked in, though that is something that we do know for Immortals. Rising in popularity. I thought that this was just because initially they were against Reflection, and we know that that's a big Reflection pick, but Immortals are willing to blue one it against 16-bit as well.
I think just getting reps on Araki being more of a carry is important, as we've seen throughout the WNS. A lot of the Baron laners are super, super good, and even up against Dawn, there were some mechanical outplays that we saw from the Darius in the last game. So, looks like this time around they want to keep them up. Also, Morgana made it through the ban, so missing a ban actually opens up so many different champions. Olaf is here for Lamont potentially. We could see a very, very different kind of game here.
It could. Maybe that was the strategic failed to lock it. Oh, have confirmation that it was not locked in there. So Set plus Morgana, pretty scary dragon lane combo if that's where they want to put those two and Immortals. Let's see what they answer with. Okay, Olaf was up, but Lamont says no. I want the Lee Sin.
Okay, and giving him something super dangerous to go for. I think that I'm not the biggest fan of Lee Sin here, just because if Olaf is available and you're going against Morgana Set, just Ragnarok him. Who cares?
Maybe he's bored.
Now picking the Rakan as well. Another champion that is like, oh god, there's a Set and Morgana in the enemy team. I'm not the biggest fan of this. So Immortals wanting to go forward, and 16-bit Genesis being able to empower this Olaf now, not only with giving him tools that can pick for him with the crowd control, but also the Black Shield alongside Ragnarok. You're never CCing this, man.
Or you can even hold the Black Shield and not use it on the Olaf. Use it on yourself. Use it on somebody else on your team, because Rakan's going to be going in. So they have two ways to mitigate the CC that Immortals have drafted. I'm going to echo your sentiment, Alec. I think Immortals are getting a little cute with it and not necessarily checking all the marks that they need to in a proper pick and ban phase. They're flexing a little here, because I do like what 16-bit Genesis have drafted already.
What are they going to get rid of here? I assume that they'll try to get rid of some marksmen, maybe get rid of some of that mid pool away from EU import, just because you already see Orianna. They have an idea that Morgana's is going to be going down into the Baron lane, and the Set is going to be her support. So maybe we get rid of a Darius. I'd be surprised if we see anything else.
I could see the Darius ban come through here. Yeah, I'm not really calling anything else other. I mean, Iraqi Zoro can play a lot of different things here. I do still think that the Fjord could be flex. Well, no, never mind. The Lee Sin's locked in. I'm just trolling at this point around. But the brand is locked in as a ban for 16-bit Genesis, so they're focused on the bot lane for sure as we wait for Immortals' final ban against 16-bit Genesis. So solo laners, that's really the name of the game for them right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's think of it as, what do both of these teams kind of want at this point from what they're missing, right? Immortals, they do have some damage. I assume that they're just going to go for another marksman here for Goom, whether that it comes in the form of another actual marksman or something a little bit different. Maybe the Kaisa gets picked up again. I was actually really interested as to what assassins we were going to get, because they already got rid of the Fizz, and for 16-bit Genesis, they do need a little bit more damage to supplement what they have, especially with the Olaf. Getting something like a Zed would have been really, really nice. So taking that away from Immortals is a good one. Yeah, it is possible.
Could go for something like that. Ideally, you'd want to get something that can still be flexed right now, so that way you're not telling Immortals exactly what you're going for. But okay, it is still the Akali. Technically kind of flexible, but
still
I would imagine that's going mid lane.
It could go mid lane. Dawn can play this Akali. I fully trust the fact that they'll be able to do it. So I'm excited. What exactly are they prepping for here as Immortals to say, let's grab the Corki for ourselves in terms of the marksman. And now let's show our hand. What is our mid lane matchup? You assume you're going up against Akali. They already got rid of the Diana, so really good takeaway here for 16-bit Genesis.
A lot of the mid lane pool has been limited already here. Corki locked in for Immortals. Could still be flexed. Akshan locked in. So, is that Fiora? I haven't. Well, I know Akshan mid then. Yeah, I suppose that's still definitely possible.
Yep. We'll have to wait until the lock-ins come in, because in my mind, I actually wouldn't be super afraid. And now, actually, Kangas, this changes the whole matchup, because now there's a Galio here, which means this is a Set top lane. Which also means this is a terrible matchup for Dawn. Araki has full control of this lane, and they decided that the counter pick support was where they wanted to go for 16-bit Genesis. I think this is a tough draft to navigate, because losing that Baron side pressure is so key for this team.
And I'm going to say it, I already liked the Set in this lane anyway. I don't know if this was necessary, But it's always tough to know. Maybe it's a champ pool thing. Maybe this is a comfort thing. Don says, all right, even though traditionally Fiora feels good in this matchup, I feel confident that I can outplay it. You never know in the moment, but it's going to come down to execution and performance right now. Because 16-bit Genesis, they are down 1 game. They still have an extra life, even if they lose this one, because it is a best of 5 in these finals. But you don't want to put yourselves with your backs against the wall all the time, because that means you'd have to get the reverse sweep at that point. But again, I mean, still, the goalpost of 16-bit Genesis, like we said, early game, survive.
Not just survive. I don't want them to survive. Personally, I want them to do very well. I want them to come in with a plan and do something. You already see they're doing that in the Baron lane. Look at how they set up 2 members in the tri-brush. If a Rocky Zora steps up, they could go for an early kind of cheeky play. Starting the Krugs here for Olaf just means that they want to extend the red buff, but also could mean go for a cheeky level 2.
Could be that early aggression. Could be just still that same full clear. It's always tough to know early on in the game what the jungler's plan will be. One thing that we know consistently, though, is that supports will be roaming into the mid lane at that level 2. We've seen that a lot from both of these teams, as Dawn actually getting the better of this trade up here. Arakizoro opts for it. Ignite ticking down. Dawn with the first blood.
In theory, these matchups should be going in favor of the Fiora, but like you said at the beginning of the draft, when you introduce player variants, that is where the matchup changes.
But bot lane, oh, Charm takes a turret shot!
Oh no!
That's another kill to 16-bit Genesis. They're running away with this early game. Hey, Alk, I think that they got their hammers out. I think that that peg is firmly in the side of this mountain.
They're doing it. I mean, they're capitalizing on some of Immortals' mistakes. Araki dying solo. Goom taking a turret shot. Those are pretty big errors to be making. 16-bit Genesis are getting a handle on the early game. We have to watch how they can utilize this lead. Otherwise, it's still going to be a pretty dangerous game. We've seen Immortals come back from worse.
Oh, Charm. 6 health on that. Almost steals it away. That would have been pretty nice, but also top lane here, still fighting between these Baron laners. Dawn not winning out necessarily on that trade, but will at the very end here as fight for the blue buff. Flash over the wall from Immortals. Lamont getting aggressive and finds the kill onto Hideout Hermie. Too young, flashing away. 4 members from Immortals down here, but they cannot dive. The wave no longer under turret.
Again, we talked about how well they've been able to do. I'll say that as Rocky's probably dead solo.
Another 1v1. Oh, the flash misses from Dawn, but the auto attack still connects. That's another solo kill for Dawn.
Okay, and this is why we tend not to see Araki Zoro on carries. His ability to be a tank is so much better when he's able to engage, be a vocal leader for his team. But Dawn is mechanically just outplaying him, making sure that Araki does not have the ability to step into lane. So, despite some early game mishaps, 16-bit are playing this really, really well, and I want to see how they close it out.
3-1 lead, 1,000 in their pocket. You couldn't ask for a better early game if you're 16-bit Genesis, especially after what happened in that last game. Like we were saying, hitting those marks, and they're already passing this test with flying colors. But now the next rung happens. It's not just the early game, it's the close. As nicely done by Charm, predicting the shuriken flip. Doesn't net a kill, but hey, it looked nice.
That one's going on the highlight reel. That's it. That's the one where you put on the highlight reel and you just like cut it right afterwards because like obviously they didn't get the kill, but it just looks nice.
Exactly. You know, it's those things where it's like having the wherewithal to predict what will happen in a second time, 2 seconds time, and then making your decisions based on that. That's a mark of a pretty impressive player in MOBAs and Wild Rift especially. Cool to see Charm having that experience under his belt now, but objective spotting here in 15 seconds, Alk. Do we start to see resets come through?
Oh man, and Dawn just trying to trade. He has a full level. Gonna be able to crash this turret, or crash this wave under the turret, get a reset. Looks like 16-bit, they want to trade on opposite sides of the maps, letting Immortals get the dragon, and since they have so much dominance on the Baron side, just go ahead, swap your laners, and set up for a Rift Herald, get yourself some gold. And I like this. I like this trade. I think it favors 16-bit a little bit more than Immortals. Obviously, it's a scaling aspect if they grab more Drakes.
The objectives are traded, and I'm racking my brain right now, Alk. Somehow Immortals are now ahead in gold. by a decent chunk. Like, this is close to 1,000 after they were just 1,000 behind. Oh, good parry from Iraqi Zoro. Blocking the ultimate from Dawn, who now is doing sit-ups in lane and is getting punished for it here. He goes down. That's a kill picked up by Immortals.
And multiple kills, actually, because Hoon just solo killed EU Import. Got the ult out from the Galio as well. So you're talking about IMT. Where did this gold lead come from? Well, it's just getting more and more kills for themselves. Iraqi is able to survive that with an excellent parry. We're talking about wanting to see more mechanical excellence from Immortals. Well, now it's delivering.
Exactly. Great look from the reigning champs right now. We'd said about 16-bit. They got the first peg in the side of the mountain, but now they got to climb up and get number 2. Immortals not interested in that as they avalanche down with this gold lead. Can they turn this into something more, though? They're still up 2,000 gold. Iraqi Zoro still taking these 1v1 trades against Dawn, and this time, he's winning them.
And look at the gold now across the lanes. Specifically, Hoon with a huge advantage.
Charm is just looking for every possible play on EU Import.
Good. As he should. Punish this Akali. A solo kill here for Dawn.
Oh, nicely done.
Sauce.
Getting another kill. Oh, the kick from Lamont. But Dawn's still alive. Not for long. Lamont picks up the trade.
Okay, so High Don't Hurt Me comes up there, saves the kill, tries to help out his Baron laner. But Lamont says, I'm not leaving without a kill. I'm not going to let this one slide. Gets one for himself, and now we'll be able to crash this wave. Maybe it's a little bit more, but again, this game has gone away from playing around Goom that we saw in Game 1 and has really become all about the solo laners here, as Hoon has a massive advantage, and despite what happened in the early game, Iraqi has a little bit of a lead.
Exactly, and Lamont having a very impressive performance. This is a player that you just can't shut down. It doesn't matter how poorly his team's doing, if his top lane's feeding, if his bot lane's dying to turret shots. Lamont says, all right, I'm going to keep a cool head and always make my opponent worry about where I am and where I'm making my next play. Gotta respect this player.
As a fellow carry player, I'll save this as Iraqi.
Yeah, he's got the Grand Challenge flashes. One more auto, not quite enough damage though, and he's taken down.
He takes way too long to proc the Grand Challenge. I think he's being a little cocky there from Iraqi, saying, maybe we could go for the... How does this land? Is it fog, man?
Blind Sonic Wave. Like, come on, Lamont.
That's just map hacks. Lamont. SV_cheats activated. We need to check the console on that one.
Yeah,
that was straight up blind.
Is there some stream sniping going on? I call shenanigans here. That's insane. All right, Zoro now in another 1v2 scenario. Doesn't have the parry, but dodges the Justice Punch. Turret taking damage. It's very low. Iraqi Zoro could be in trouble. The taunt lands. The Charm's here. Goom's here. The trap has been sprung, and Immortals pick up 2.
And there we go. It could have ended really badly for Iraqi, but the squad comes through, hooks up the homies, and saves the day. Charm with an excellent roam, and obviously Goom there to just try to pick up something. Goom at this point, he's playing passenger. He's like, I got the Kaisa last game. I'm just going to play backseat on this one. You guys don't need me. I'm here to pick up kills when necessary. I'm mostly just here to catch the minion waves. I'm a good marksman like that.
I'm just going to be a homie, just for the team. So far, 5 kills picked up by 16-bit. 4 of them have been on Iraqi Zoro, but despite that, he's still ahead in gold. It's insane what he's able to do on this Fiora right now and this power that he's providing. Goes for the reset. Objectives are spawning. We might get a team fight at this dragon.
I don't think we are, because Hoon's just doing it by himself. So he's already leashed this here for his jungler. Thank you, Observers, for showing it. It's gone, which means Rift Herald is going to be going down soon.
Soon, but there's the package for Goom, and 16-bit are a little slow on the play. What did I tell you about Immortals and objective setup and objective control? They're just too good at it. And 16-bit, they're reeling, figuring out, okay, how do we answer right now? They have to give up priority at the Herald too, because everybody from Immortals are here. The kick from Lamont. The team fight has started, and now everyone from Immortals are piling in. The package used. Goom repositions. The Sheet has to flash away, but running towards his own turn is not the direction that Olaf wants to go. Double kill to Iraqi Zoro on the killing spree.
Who cares about what happened in the laning phase, Kangas, now as Immortals come out swinging. After a rocky early game, they've gone Dragons, they've gone all of the Rift Heralds at this point. 16-bit Genesis We gave them homework, and it was do good in the first 3 minutes, and I'll give them an A for that. It's now that we got to get to, the follow-up assignment. Use the answers from question 1 to answer question 2. How do we get a 9-minute lead?
Yeah, the first one was multiple choice, and now this one is free-form answer. And that's a little tougher, when you have to write out a couple of words and use your own voice. So, 16-bit reeling right now. They're feeling these jabs. Immortals, they're just ready for the knockout punch at this point. They are such a dangerous opponent in the ring, and it's just a beauty to watch them work.
They're doing a fantastic job here. I mean, everyone, I think, understands what their role has to be. We're talking about how aggressive Charm has been because he knows he needs to look for something. He needs to look for ways to disrupt the backline and protect his carries. He's doing a fantastic job. Obviously, we talked about Goom being a role player in this and just letting the solo lanes carry. Teleports coming in. Rocky, they want to fight.
Yeah, Lamont was up here and getting engaged on, but again, everyone from Immortals just pile in. And nice ultimate from Galio. I don't hurt me doing what he can, but it's not enough. 2 for 3 trade. At least 16-bit gets some kills for that, but it's not going to be a victorious trade.
Oh, man. And they kill Rocky. Gold star. You get your participation medal there for 16-bit Genesis. A fantastic setup from IMT. Lamont was the only one there, and so he's calling, we can kill them Baron lane. We can kill them. Grants is a TP from Rocky Zoro, and now they're just going to lose access to all of their jungle. Hoon solo killing Too Young. Ignite barely ticks off. Last tick doesn't kill him.
You can't even see the health bar. It's non-existent. So low right there. This game is just such an impressive showing from Immortals. Coming back from that early game deficit, and you look across the board, 4 members, all 4 that are not support, as Hoon is about to hit it here after this reset, at like the exact same gold break point. Like the consistency in this roster is just incredible to see. It's not just one person carrying because, everyone else fell behind. It's everybody. Some people keeping them up in the game earlier on, but then even Zoro's coming back.
Zoro is making the huge return. Grand challenge. Whoa.
Yeah, this is just going to be a solo kill right here. Ashita cannot keep him alive. Another really good parry from Iraqi Zoro every time. He's just landing it perfect.
Okay, this is where I was going to say, one of the strengths of 16-bit Genesis is win in the mid-game when it gets a little bit dicey, that if they make a play on the side lane from Immortals, they do have Galio who can show up at a moment's notice. Just look at how they're bullying them.
Oh! Charm with the engage! That trigger pull so quick, and a double knock-up. Yeah, I mean, this game's just over.
They just don't care anymore. They're like, Charm, just go and end the game. Go ahead. It's already been 13 minutes. That's 13 minutes way too long for these guys for 16-bit. Crashes a second Rift Herald, going into mid. Goom!
Goom!
No!
Oh, so close to the kill. As now Charm with a second double knockup, rather. Heroic entrance, more like heroic escape. As Lamont now in a 1v1 against Ashita with the help of Charm here. Hoon and Goom are nearby as well. Dawn looking for anything to get them back in this game. But ultimately use the ultimate in the wrong direction. Tripping over words here because of just how quickly Immortals are trying to close this one out.
Now I wonder if for the Immortals, Charm. Great job of catching that for your mid laner so he doesn't have to cancel his back. I wonder if we could pull up the scores here. I was looking forward to see if anyone from Immortals was going to go for like in sports they have like a double-double, but no one's really that close. Like maybe a Rocky Zoro gets it, but that's going to involve...
Yeah, he's close to double deaths. 4 away.
Damn. Jesus. Why are we going to flame them like that? They're winning! They're winning!
But that's why I feel comfortable doing it.
Yes,
when you're 17,000 gold ahead, I think it's all right for the casters to be like, haha, look how many times you died.
75% of his team's death. Speaking of which, here we go.
Over here. Yeah, that is the most disgusting Rakan engage I've seen in quite a while. And it will set up Immortals for a beautiful end to this game here. I Don't Hurt Me will go down. That's a double kill. Lamont under turret. Char with another knock-up. And Goom chasing, maybe a little too far though. Goom's actually taking damage. Goom's down. Lamont's low on health. A double kill to Too Young. And Lamont still burning down, barely alive. Hoon just ending the game right now. I don't know if you actually can, though. 2 youngs here.
I think
There's too
you
many
can.
members of 16-bit alive. Hoon might even go down here. Exor gets one more
Nope.
kill. A rampage for Hoon. He doesn't have the wave, though. Gotta be careful. Has to back away.
Okay, because you know who you're talking about. You're talking about Akshan here. This is a guy that will
Yeah.
just swing around your Nexus if given the chance. A guy who revives his teammates. A fantastic 1v1 champion. As I don't know if he's getting out of this one. He missed the hook.
Looking for the chase down. Hoon can dodge out on the taunts. Dawn jumping
Dead.
forward. Hoon's down! Nice constellation prize, but the teleport was already used by Iraqi Zoro, so he's joined in onto the fight. Lamont is here too. Dawn will just go down. A killing spree over to Lamont. Still rooted up by 2 young, but without waves or turrets in the mid wave or the top wave. Immortals just need everyone to group up with their minions, but another death for
Guys?
Iraqi Zoro. He's chasing the double, but I think the team will end before they get a chance to, as the rest of Immortals have joined in. Goom with the package, as well as Charm. And Immortals with this wave, they can look at this Nexus. It's just EU Import and 2 young left alive. I don't think the 2 of them can do much. These super minions walking forward. Charm with the engage here. And a killing spree for Goom to close out the game. The Nexus is focused. And 2-0
Okay.
start for Immortals in the best of 5.
Okay, they can end. I was getting a little afraid. I was like, okay, this happened in game 1.
I was running out of breath.
They did a little bit of a hiccup. They were like, okay, we're not going to end. We're going to take about a minute's break before we come back to the Nexus. But Immortals close out game 2. Clean fashion. We gave them homework, like we said. They passed the first test. And now, you know, like, can they make it to the second summit? Can they make it to, you know, a little bit longer, prolonging that lead?
And you'll notice, see where the gold starts to swing in Immortals' favor. What does that correlate to? Coincide with, Alk?
It looks like there's a Rift Herald, a dragon fight.
Oh, yeah, Rift Herald and Dragon. Interesting to note how Immortals are consistently getting a gold lead right around this moment. And again, going back to why and how they're setting up around those. Shout out to Goom, 8-1-6 on this Corki, providing that DPS. Like you said early on, it was kind of a slow start for him, but he got there. Lamont also, incredible performance on the Lee Sin.
I'll be honest, and I say this is nicely sponsored for Goom. He's a role player this game. He did not have to do anything. His support never had to come back to his lane just because you're playing against Morgana. I think a lot of this game was predicated on Hoon and Lamont and linking up with Charm. These 3 did so much on the map, not only solo killing their opponent, but Charm getting a lot of really aggressive, very strong looks in terms of engaging on enemies. So
very impressive. Also, Iraqi Zoro was actually close to getting that little icon where you do twice as much damage as gold you earn.
Yep.
He was only like 2k off of that. That was actually very close. I was surprised when that came up. I was like, wow, Iraqi Zoro was actually the primary damage dealer on the side of Immortals.
he is trading a lot. He is playing Fiora, so you are constantly going to be fighting against the opponent repeatedly. So glad to see that Iraqi can still keep it up. Especially after an early, kind of really dangerous early game.
Yeah. And again, going back to that checklist, 16-bit did pass that initial check. They got that early game. And against a team like Immortals, now I think we add that extra step. And I'm going to call it the first objective decision. Make the call at that objective. Commit to which side of the map you're going to play to 30 seconds ahead of it actually spawning, at least. Because otherwise, Immortals, they'll run away with both of them. This time, they actually did have a pretty good read of that, but Immortals were still able to pick up a kill afterwards. And now, also looking at that second spawn, where, you know, again, Dragon and Herald will theoretically spawn at the same time for the second round. Make sure that you also have those timings down, because it was that second one that Immortals got both objectives, and then just blew open the game from that point.
Again, it is all about, can you maintain a lead? And then not only that, you need to grow the lead. You need to be able to use Dawn solo killing Fiora twice. Maybe spend that tempo that you just gained in the Baron lane to not only grab the Rift Herald, but go and crack open mid. Help out EU Import. Free him up so maybe you can look for dives with their Olaf onto the Corki, who is by themselves. It is all about how do you push your lead after you've gained it. And for Immortals, it was not much. It was not hard. They just said, hey, we're just going to kill a few members. We're going to have access to the map. And look at that. We win.
Shout outs to Dawn as well from 16-bit for getting 2 solo kills against Iraqi Zoro. That's something that we kind of brushed past after the fact because of how Immortals were able to come back, but in the moment, that was majorly impactful. So I think it's really cool to see that 16-bit do still have a lane that they can, you know, win out on. You also threw a little bit of shade. This is why we see Immortals oftentimes put Zoro on those tanks, on those enablers, because there's a little more consistency there. But hey, he still came back and did all that damage. So at the end of the day,
Perfect.
still worked out for it. But I do want to give props for it too. And Dawn had a really strong early game performance.
Yeah, again, credit where credit is due. Remember, this is expected for Immortals. They're obviously the winners of Major 1, and I mean, they are the favorites to win the Fight Night Rift tonight. So looking forward to what we get from them in Game 3 here. Should be more of the same.
Is it the first 3-0, Alk? Because
Yes.
again, the script says 3-1 every single
Yes.
time we read it. 3-1. We're on the precipice, because usually the first win for the other team would have happened already. I don't think.
Yeah,
that
it happens
we've
in
had,
Game
like,
1. Usually
yeah,
happens
it's usually
game 1.
that we actually see the upset come through. So Immortals looking pretty comfortable right now. They might just be making history.
Potentially. You know, they're trying to make up for what happened yesterday, right? Like, they're like, okay,
Yeah.
we lost the game to enemy. Let's not let that happen. Let's just go for the 3-0. This is actually the real finals here, ladies and
Oh
gentlemen.
yeah.
This is exactly
the
how this
actual
is supposed to
major.
go.
You know, Fight Night Rift, WNS, basically the same thing, right? Yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly. Nah. They are not, just for the record. They might have the same talent though. But for right now, this is potentially the final game of the series. Looks like the scores are swapped right now, because it is Immortals with the 2 and 16-bit Genesis with the O right now. And I believe still 16-bit Genesis though on the blue side, because the names do look correct there, and they're opting for that set first pick yet again.
And look, they banned away the Fiora, so what is Lamont's pick here? Or, sorry, what is Rocky Zoro's pick? Because are you going to play the Malphite, brother? You going to pick it up for us? Are you going to show us another Malphite angle? Or are you going to give us maybe something a little bit new from the top lane? We'll have to see.
He likes the Darius too. I mean, he could just pick that one instead if he wants that carry matchup.
Actually, I think we know the real reason why you want your 3-0. You want water, Kangas.
I do.
You want water. Yeah.
I would like a little bit of water after that last one. I'm looking at my bottle right now. I still have some.
Your 48 gallons? Well, guess what?
It's less
48
than I was hoping
ounces.
for.
I still got my Summoner series. I still got water in it, baby. We're rocking it. We're rocking
nice.
water.
I do like. I got my bottle, but it's off screen over there. I could grab it, but it's a little out of reach. Regardless, Immortals, they're locking into Corki. They're locking in that Lee Sin. So some range, some setup, some poke, and then also Lamont back on a signature pick. I mean, he's opting for this over the Olaf at this point, which makes me wonder, which one are we more afraid of?
I'm always afraid of Lamont's Lee Sin way more than his Olaf. Like, Olaf is ridiculous because it allows for Lamont to kind of just run in like a psychopath. But if I'm giving Lamont Lee Sin, that means that he can go in, he can dash over walls, he could do all this other crazy stuff that I expect from someone like this. And someone who's been banned all night tonight and finally makes it through is the Demolitionist himself, Ziggs.
Very far in the draft also. I didn't even catch that because he's just been perma-banned by everybody. But yeah, I mean, blue 3 for the Ziggs. That's rare that we see it make it that far into the pick and ban. But Zed is the answer from Immortals. Okay.
I guess during our break, or during in between the games here, Charm did send me a message. And he said,
this is never a good start to a story.
Charm did send me a message, and he said, this one's for you guys. So we're going to have a little fun.
For us?
Yeah, I think this one's going to be a fun. There's the Yasuo ban. That one's for us, boys.
Oh, okay.
If you
so
watch
the ban was
WNS
for
this
us.
weekend, maybe it's the ban, maybe it's the draft. We'll see what happens.
Who knows? There's still more things they can send our way.
If anyone was watching the WNS Major Finals this weekend, you'll know exactly where that Yasuo hits.
If they were truly doing it for us, they would have played the Yasuo. I mean, come on, guys.
No.
Like, at that point.
No, they know.
All right,
they know.
All right, fine.
We're not doing it. They're not on blue side. They can't first pick it, so.
True. You're right. But that ban comes through. It's maybe a throwaway ban, but they're having fun with it. And when Immortals are feeling it this much, you know that they're in their groove here. But 16-bit Genesis, they're still taking this very seriously, banning away the Darius and the Renekton, 2 of those carry top laners that Iraqi Zoro will opt to play.
And now I'm wondering, what exactly their lock-in is here, right? Because they got the Zed mid. You have a huge assassin for the Ziggs. So you could pick more frontline. I would prefer if they picked more frontline. Knowing Charm, he's going to pick the Yumi, which just means...
No! That
You're
one's
going
not
for
for
it.
us.
Yes.
That's not for us,
This
Charm.
one's for me. I love this.
If this is what you meant, then I'm very upset.
No, I'm happy. I love when I get to see Charm have fun on some Yumi.
Oh.
For 16-bit Genesis, get some damn tanks. There we go. We get the Garen. This is exactly what I want to see. More frontline for them. And now I need a damage dealer. This is the WCK style that we've been talking about all weekend long for the WNS. Get either a Kha'Zix, maybe get yourself an Akali, do something. Someone that, you know, can utilize the fact that you're whittling down on immortals with all this poke and finish those kills.
Physical damage is what I'd be looking for, so that way they can't just opt for mostly magic resist. Although, I mean, there's really nobody on Immortals that would do that anyway, but hey, this works.
Yeah.
This is that burst. Camille has a lot of upfront damage in her kit. If a Ziggs is able to poke somebody down with just one bouncing grenade and then an ultimate on top of that, then suddenly Camille can probably finish that up.
I think the really big key here for me is typically the way that you counter the Ziggs matchup is by having the Zed in the game. The Zed will go into the back line and just kill him, and at that point, as you see from 16-bit Genesis, you get rid of Ziggs, there's not a lot of damage. There's a lot of tanky boys that will just stand right there and they'll tank up for some Conqueror stacks, but other than that, they're not doing much. And Camille will lock down the Zed. She will make sure Hextech Ultimatum comes through, you're not leaving for X amount of time, and it gives her team some outs.
Alk, I mean, that was a beautiful breakdown. Appreciate your insights, but we got a Mundo. So
Why
I
is
just
there
want
a
to bring
Mundo
our attention
in the
to
game?
that now.
Why is there a
because
Mundo in the game?
this is happening.
Well,
I mean, they needed a frontline, I suppose. This is probably like the most frontline that we have in the game, as he is very difficult to kill. Interesting, though, because we don't see a lot of him in the professional play as of late. So, theoretically, it still fits the draft. I don't hate it by any means. It's just rare. It's an odd one to see, and I don't know too much about the matchup into that Camille.
oh, I was gonna say, cheers to Immortals. Thanks for the draft.
I literally just grabbed my water bottle as we transition,
Cheers.
so
Okay,
I'll cheers you.
There we go. We take a sip. Let there be some quiet on the rift.
Hydration, everybody. Take a hydro break if you haven't already on this stream. It's been a long day, so gotta make sure that if I'm hydrating, you better be hydrating too.
Exactly.
Although that might go the other way, but regardless, we're back into the maybe final game of the day. Alk, Immortals, they're on the precipice of making history for Fight Night Rift here with a flawless performance.
Yep. And so talking a little bit more about the window. There is not a ton of crowd control here for 16-bit Genesis, and especially into the set matchup, it's a little bit dangerous, but Mundo will just walk into the back line, and again, when we're talking about killing the Ziggs, Yumi plus Mundo and Zed means that Ziggs goes nowhere.
True. He's going to have a really rough time with things. It's crazy that, like, the Mundo took so much attention away from the Garen mid lane as well. You imports going back to this against that Zed. Pretty good matchup as Dawn is just getting slapped around up here in this Baron lane. Not having a fun time in the 1v1 as is this an early dive?
I mean, you have such good wave control as the Mundo early on.
Already damaged. Dawn flashing under turret, and it's Hoon that picks up the first kill.
Look at that. They even get the Ignite. They get the Flash. They're trying to make up for what happened in the last game. He's like, I'm not letting this happen again. Araki, he told his coach, he told his jungler, he's like, Lamont, if you don't gank this guy like their jungler did for me, there's gonna be some problems. There might be a thank you. There might be a second thank you, Lamont.
Mr. Big Ego, Mr. MVP. This time we play through me. Okay.
Yep.
600 gold lead currently. Good start for Immortals as they also defend their blue buff, which seemed to be the focus from 16-bit. They wanted to get some action on the bottom side, but they're a little slow on the play.
Yep. And interesting to note here, I don't typically like to call too much attention to some of the rune choices, but it is Electrocute Gragas, which means this is more than likely just going to be a full AP variant. So a second kind of burst mage on their team does lend some credence to, wanting to finish off some kills.
I don't hurt me taking a pretty rough trade there as that's just what a Yumi does. That's like one of the more annoying parts of it. But oh, wait a minute! 1-for-1 trade mid lane. I thought Hoon just had it, but I didn't see his health bar. Import actually got the kill first.
I love Garen. That's just how Garrett, he's so tanky. And you won
Great
the 1v1.
analysis.
This is, I mean, what do you want me to do, man? Garen's just so turbo broken.
Run the math
Lamont.
for me. Give me the numbers. Give me the invades. Lamont finding Ashita. The red buff burn. Not enough. Ashita survives.
Get him. Lamont. Okay, well, they're going to be able to get out. This is one of the traditional counters to Zed is just play Garen. Anybody who's tanky in front of him makes it really difficult for you to kill him. And also, like I said in the last couple games when we saw Garen mid earlier, does have some pretty decent wave clear with his third ability. So the spin to wins are, you know, pretty decent at clearing waves, especially once he finishes a Black Cleaver. You just literally chews through the minion wave and then starts spam laughing at you and walks into another lane.
Gonna have to deal with the lane swap right now, though, because Immortals actually opt for one very early. I actually like this at this specific timer, but it could mean trouble for Hoon. Flash is available down to about half health here. The reason I like it is because both objectives are spawning, and this means that you're just that much quicker to pivot to either one. Whichever one you want to go for, you'll have your AD carry in the mid lane, but as I say that, it is still quirky, so wants to reset for that package.
I was gonna say, Kangas. It's you already know what time it is.
Yeah,
it's Corky time. It's Corky time. It's Corky time. Like we're here to pick up the package, and we'll walk it down into the river.
Is that the battle cry of Immortals? At this point, it might as well.
It's probably
be
a
here.
little bit better than that. I'm
not
not gonna
an
say
echo of it actually. Yeah. We got it twice, but it is objectives traded. Immortals will go for this Herald and 16-bit. Go for the dragon, but okay, they actually do have the package here. Do we see a contest? I don't.
Ooh, I love this contest from Immortals. Lamont could get here very quickly. Oh. Oh, don't worry. No one died there, and it's okay. They dropped the Rift Herald there. It's exactly what I was expecting. I was like, are we really going to control or try to contest the midway or the dragon? Let's just go for mid turret and make 16-bit Genesis' life really difficult.
Perfect time for the screen to freeze on me right there, as you know, tensions were high in the moment, but good for 16-bit to actually successfully get that objective. But we talked about homework, we talked about tests and how 16-bit should be judged based on their performance.
They're failing right now.
They are struggling in this early game here. I'm not going to call it a fail yet, but it is not a lead. It is not an even game state. It is yet again Immortals with the early game advantage.
Kangas, you are a much more lenient teacher than I'm like, you're here to learn, right? Like, I'll have fun with some of the students, but like, you're here to do your assignments and go home. Like, this is school for crying out loud.
So you're the strict teacher, all right?
I want to say, like,
I'm the PE teacher. I'm the one that's like, just have a healthy lifestyle, everybody. That's what's important.
Go.
Ooh, Lamont throwing out the Sonic Wave a little wide there, but it won't matter. It's still a kill picked up.
Just like that, I'm gonna say that I'm more like tough love. You know, like I'm here to help you grow. I want to see you succeed, but also like
it's a long way to say you're the English teacher.
Yeah, basically.
Nobody likes the English teacher.
Whoa! I love my English teacher. Shout out Mr. Shilling.
That explains a lot right there. All right, back to the game though. Immortals find the first turret in the bottom lane.
They're just cracking open the map, and now at any moment they want, they can walk down mid lane. Hoon is turbo accelerated at this point. Rocky, all you have to do is live, bud.
He's got barrier, he's got the ultimate, and instead he flashes and will still go down. So hey, that's something. 16-bit with the kill.
Yep. I love this from Goom. Screen them away from the mid lane. Make sure that they take the longest route possible so you can get this mid-tier 1. Take that away from someone like Ziggs.
This is a death. This is a dead set. He was just walking through the river, man, and you're just going to do that to him?
Yep.
Without a paddle, everybody. Now the top scuttle picked up as well. Blue buff invaded successfully, and Immortals with still full control over this.
Immortals, you need to kill the turret.
Goom is just walking up. Look at him. Look at Goom. You just face checked that tri-bush.
That is every AD carry's dream. Is we are so far ahead that I can walk into fog of war of like a bush, and it's
not fair.
grief.
It's not fair because he's got
he's just dead.
Okay. It's not a fair fight. As, yeah, I think Irakizora actually does just win these, chasing down this Garen as mid lane will also fall. Wait a minute!
Huh?
Import got the kill? Oh, that's so sad that we went away. That would have been lit.
I see an Ignite, and I see a Demacian Justice is gone.
I see like 10 health on Import, but he got it. He killed. That's that true damage on that ultimate.
How bizarre that there's suddenly a Garen ult that's missing and not killed up.
You know why? You know why? The Black Cleaver. The armor shred, Alk. Are you a believer yet? Are you a believer yet?
Okay, I'm okay with that happening. I'm okay with Black Cleaver on Garen because it makes sense. I don't know. I don't know about the Black Cleaver on Corki, but I'm also not that much of a stickler for builds unless it's Boots on Yumi. Unless if it's Boots on Yumi, then I'm a little rougher on that.
Oh, Lamont just getting aggressive onto Ashita right now. Ooh, gets flash out of the Gragas, but Dawn's got nowhere to go. Locked up on the wall, and that's a killing spree for Hoon.
3-pointer coming in from Too Young. Just wants to try and clear the wave as much as possible with the Mega Inferno Bomb, but it's not enough. Tier 1s are down at 8.5 minutes. Rift Herald on respawn already being taken here, and unless 16-bit Genesis could do this fast, I'm expecting for Immortals to do, yet again, get the Rift Herald and look to contest.
Oh, don't hurt me getting aggressive right now, but Charm's there to help out Hoon, and now Hoon gets the confidence to go forward. Flashes, but the Yumi wasn't on him. Oh no, what happened, Charm? Ignite taken down, that's a kill, that's a rampage, that's Gume repositioning the fight. Oh, Import finds the kill. That's something over to 16-bit, but still a killing spree. A double kill. Immortals, they can do no wrong in this game, and they will chase down 60-bit into their own jungle. More kills picked up. The rampage for Lamont. Dawn, the only surviving member. Everybody, these are your champions. This is Immortals showing off what they can do in a best of 5.
And they got the Rift Herald immediately slamming this turret. Lamont is literally just doing red buff this entire time. This is perfect for them. Can they find another one?
I think he actually wins this. He might just win this. Okay, never mind. Nope. He does not. Charm also picked up, dunked down. That's another kill picked up. No, he's still alive. Hoon's up. That's another lost chapter. Hoon survives with Charm at about 10 health. Now Zoro comes in. Says, alley-oop, give me the kitty cat. Let me chase down EU Import. As again, the Garen damage. Iraqi's just not respecting it at this point. Gume flashing, misses the rocket. The Eerie is enough for the kill.
Okay, so 2 things. The fact that Charm lived and the fact that Charm found a kill there. I do want to take a look at the items real quick, observers. If you could just show us, because I just want to check. Do we have Boots Yumi? No. Okay. Now imagine if he had spent 1,800 gold on Boots, he would not have this death cap right now. He would not have had the needlessly large rod, and he wouldn't have been able to heal. He wouldn't have been able to kill.
All right, I'm happy that we took the time for that. I'm very happy as Hoon is now showing off his own mechanical skill. That is some skill right there. Doesn't get a kill, but gets out safely in a 1v2 scenario. Ashita attempting the chase down. Flash is barely off on cooldown and just came off. So yeah, Ashita couldn't find anything there.
Oh, I'm dying.
Wow, you're the one dying. I thought I was the one struggling over here needing some water, but I'm feeling alright at this point.
The Garen ult actually hit me in real life. Jeez.
Just right down, right on top of your head. Bonk. As they didn't even have vision in that brush, but they spotted them out regardless, and that is EU Import having to pop the stone plate explosive cast used by Ashita. 16-bit. Struggling so much right now as we crest the 11-minute mark. Death mark from Hoon. He's having fun with it, everybody. As he looks at Ashita and gets the stasis.
Okay, well, that was a little bit risky there. Obviously, the more Zonias that the enemy team has.
Did Alk die? Have I lost him? I think I might have lost Alk for real this time.
I'm good.
He got Garen ulted again. All right, he's back.
I got Yumi ulted that time. That was my bad.
Oh, okay.
I was trying not to cough too much and die on stream, but we're here. For Immortals, I mean, this is just now. This is the finish. What is it? Last lap. They're just doing everything they can to finish.
The victory lap. That's what we call that one here. It would be a miracle for 16-bit to come back from this point, so this is where we start singing the praises of the team that is about to make history at Fight Night Rift. We've yet to have a 3-0 in the grand finals, and Immortals bucking that trend. After a very impressive weekend performance here, they're looking for these picks in the side lane. They have the engage, and now the rest of the team following up, but you got to be careful. Gume's still low on the health bars, but it's not going to mean much. A lot of damage responded, though. Iraqi Zoro still goes down. 16-bit, they got some fight left in them yet.
Hoon, can he find something? Hook shot's down.
On to Dawn. Yeah, no CC, no hook shot. Has an exact ultimatum, but the death mark is enough to pick up the kill, and Ashita with the explosive cast cannot find a response.
Now, again, I mean, at this point, 16-bit, they're just kind of like praying because you see like all of their tanky members are just barely able to survive a lot of the bursts from someone like Hoon or from Lamont. They're finding kills onto Rocky Zoro, which is nice. But do you notice anything that's like a different from our first game in the series?
3 black cleavers?
No.
No,
Okay,
no,
yes,
no
but
boots.
also
Is this
no.
where we go back to the no boots?
No. Okay.
No? Okay.
You are
okay.
on the right person, though.
All right.
Who was the only person that died in game 1?
Oh, you're right.
It's just the reverse. And he doesn't have boots. See, boots fix the KDA.
I like it. This is the analysis that we look for. As Hoon goes legendary here under the tier 2 turret in the top lane. I don't hurt me. Oh, can't even get out to Lamont. They get flash out, though.
That is a fun, very fun. Look at this. He's just like showing off in front of 16-bit. He's just like dashing in, going to the minion wave.
Oh,
fancy feet.
Lamont! This guy, somebody stop him! Please, shut him down! For our sake, if anything. Goes into the Guardian Angel, but he bought time for Hoon to show up, and Lamont is still alive.
Oh. They're just having fun with it, and I'm glad, right? Like, this is just Fight Night Rift in all seriousness. Like, this is a community grassroots event. Well, you know, you've already heard the spiel from me during the ads in between the games, but, like, they're having fun. They're showing off a little bit, and that's what I like to see here.
Yeah. They're having their absolute best time on the Rift currently as EU Import goes in.
Wait.
Oh, what? He almost just killed 2 people!
Ship?
Oh, the Ziggs ult! Doesn't get the Baron steal. That would have been insane. But very close to killing multiple members as Iraqi Zora looks to be in a 1v2 scenario. Machida finds another.
AP Gragas, Flash, Belly Slam, or Body Slam, all of them.
Gume, you probably just die here.
No, he does not. I respect it. Flash over the wall. Do not be a coward, Gume.
I mean, Don can just like instant stun you, and then
this
you
is
get
just FF.
knocked. Okay, okay.
No.
Woo! Lamont
Dragon
is
Lane,
terrifying with charm, and yeah, feels the Dragon Lane. He wants more though. Lamont's still going forward. He wants to cast to disengage from Machida. Gume's here.
What?
Looking for something. If those had landed, that might have even been a kill from Gume, but not meant to be. Immortals looking so strong right now. And again, I go back to the point that we made earlier in the day. Immortals favorites going into this one. They are the #1 team in North America. And 16-bit, even though it's a rough game to end things on here, as they are very far behind, but the experience that they are gaining currently in this best of 5 can't be understated, as Immortals are putting the final nails in the coffin here. Couple kills in this Dragon Lane. Now they can start to crack the base. They already have the Baron picked up here. There's not a lot of defense left from 16-bit. But again, going back to what they have learned, this is Immortals. This is the #1 team, and this is what it feels like to play against them, as EU Import just keeps getting kills. This Garen is actually keeping them in this game for far longer than I was expecting. But now Immortals underneath the Nexus here, pushing into the fountain. They have Baron-empowered cannons. They're focusing down the objectives, but no, they're flashing away. They're dying.
Charm, do not die.
16-bit will not go silently into the night, and they will continue to fight.
I mean, you called it right at the beginning, right? We're talking about the Garen being so tanky that they're just trying to get kills, and while they're padding their stats, they are prolonging the game by not just ending out and finishing some of those turrets. So the Garen,
they're going to make this the longest game in the series. This is actually going to be the longest game in this best of 5.
I wonder if it's the longest game of the night as well, because or at least the one on stream, because
at least of Immortals games.
We had a 17-minute game.
Okay, that was a kind of troll teleport from Lamont. Could be punished here for it. Doesn't have the Guardian Angel up, and he's going to go down. That's Lamont picked.
Okay, Lamont, Immortals, you are ahead. You still have 15,000 gold. I think they could troll just a little bit more. They're teleporting in, Kangas. We're fighting.
There's no ultimate on Iraqi Zora, but Hoon does, and he goes forward with the death mark. Gume repositions with a package. They're onto the back line. Gume, uncontested. Hoon, the knife to stab through the hearts of 16-bit. And Immortals pick up 3.
They get these kills. It's 40-second respawn timers. Can they kill these waves? Because correctly so, EU Import actually does the best job to keep his team in the game, pushes out the Dragon Lane, so there's not a way for Immortals to end. They are prolonging this game.
EU Import gets a kill.
Oh
this is
my
going to be another kill onto the Garen. This is absolutely mad. 16-bit, they keep finding ways to get kills onto their Garen, but now Immortals keep the chase down. He's out. EU import, he made it! The great escape! Gume will chase him down. He has Valkyrie. The prowling projectile will land us slow, but EU import, he makes it to safety.
This is what I'm talking about, man. Garrett is so busted. If you can play this in solo queue, if you can play there's a support variant, the mid variant is really good. Top lane is obviously where he's
got 15k gold.
He's almost finished with his items. He's going to be picking up GA here, and they're going to fight for the dragon.
Oh, he's in! EU import just teleports into the dragon pit. They don't even do damage. Look at him! The Garen is spinning to win it as he gets a Guardian Angel
He's
popped.
dead.
Will go down, but did he buy enough time? The dragon's a focus. They steal the dragon! 16-bit of the Elder Dragon for the rest of the game! Too Young, the only member up, but Dawn is spawning. If they can hold off these super minions, there's a chance!
Oh my god, they're going to be able to grab mid inhibitor as well if they want to go for it. Lee Sin's out. Lee Sin's just straight up dead. Lamont's has gone down. They're teleporting
That's teleport.
in.
What is happening now?
It's Chives TP! No, he bought boots!
EU import is unironically keeping 16-bit in this game with an incredibly impressive Garen performance, but now Too Young, the focus here, goes into the stasis, death mark used, but maybe missed time. Too Young still alive. He's out. He's up. That is huge. EU import starting in 5 seconds. The Ziggs bomb, no turrets, no inhibitors. That is all supers in all lanes, but with the Elder Dragon, there's still a shot. Maybe 16-bit can win another fight here if they can stagger some of these backs. EU import goes in. He's just frontlining. He's got High Don't Hurt Me behind him.
God.
They're going very far forward. The ultimate back at Raki's gonna fall down. He's dead. If they can get Gume, he has the cat on top of him. He's trying to kite back, but he's not gonna make it. 16-bit. They get the flash out of Gume. They don't find the kill, but now Don's looking for even more. He finds Hoon caught out there, and Hoon will go down. Charm and Gume in trouble. Looking at Dawn, looking at Ashita. They're still alive, and Immortals have to disengage. This game is insane.
Kangas, the script writing, the narratives, it may be too strong. We may be going to a fourth game. There's no 3-0s in the Fight Night Rift. There are Winions in the base right now. They do need to go back. You already see that Ziggs is hitting the recall button. Lamont cannot die here. If he goes down, there's a potential for 16-bit to go for the Baron. They need to clear these wards, though.
This?
Yes, they can.
Okay,
they can.
okay.
So they do have 2 wards here, and one of them will expire. But look at EU import. This is keeping Lamont away from the wave. They want to be able to clear this out. Oh my god, Kangas. I don't know if I believe quite yet, but I'm getting close to being made into one.
I want to believe, Alk. I said it 3 times this game, at least, that Immortals win this. That 16-bit around. Now teleport coming in. They don't have a minion wave, but they're right on to the Nexus, and Ashita's here. They're taking damage. I don't think that they actually win this. Immortals go for the Hail Mary, and 16-bit punish. That's already a kill. Actually, Lamont picked up the first one on the Too Young. EU imports, frontlining though. He's surviving, as now Gume might go down. Dawn picks up that kill, but now the minions are coming in. 16-bit, they have to worry about the fight. They have to worry about the minions. And now Immortals, they can hit the Nexus. They're going for the end. They're going for the game. They're going for the 3-0, and Immortals find it. 3-0 victory, best in NA yet again.
Okay, Kangas. I'm not going to be stingent. I'm not going to be a bad teacher about this. 16-bit Genesis, they get the A+. That was some heart, man. For effort. The fact of the matter that they even held out for an additional 5 minutes there is impressive. They made Immortals work for it, and that's exactly what I wanted to see this team do. That's what I wanted them to see. I mean, we even got to see it a little bit at the end, right? In the last best of 1 of the night before the best of 5. That game was going on a little bit longer than we would have expected. 16-bit Genesis, they push Immortals. Immortals were, to be fair, they're playing it loose. Incredibly so.
Bit. Slightly. You talk about triple doubles, double doubles, whatever we want to call it. Lamont, 11, 4, and 10. Maybe that's what they were going for at the end. They were like, all right, we can't end too quickly. But I don't think that was it. I think it was 16-bit actually earning that. EU import had an insane performance on that kill. Look at the damage!
Jesus, man.
When he teleported into that Elder Dragon pit, he survived for a solid, 30 seconds. Yep. I've literally never seen a champion 1v5 like that in that kind of scenario.
He stalled out them from doing the dragon, and then Dawn comes in and steals, or sorry, not Dawn, but High Don't Hurt Me steals the dragon.
Yep.
And I don't think the dragon necessarily, prolongs the game all that much. Yes, the Elder Dragon buff is awesome, and having Ocean Drake in your back pocket is super nice. But you saw there that Immortals were trying to get a little too fancy with it. Without Corki there, they need to find a team fight if they want to try and siege turrets. It was only after they got 3 inhibitors that it started looking more and more dire for 16-bit Genesis, even with more team fight wins.
They might not have gotten a win in the grand finals, but they won over our hearts with that performance. Let's take a look now at the day. I can't believe we're at the end of it already. We sped run through that. It's only 7 p.m. my time, 10 p.m. to our Florida man over there. But it looks like all these players are going to be going to bed early tonight. Immortals sweeping their way through the whole thing, getting their first ever 3-0 for a Fight Night Rift.
Congratulations to Immortals. They obviously continue to show their dominance here in North America. Even in a silly Game 3, I think when you look back at this in a few weeks, we will obviously remember it being a 3-0, but with a fun last game. The history books will not be so kind. They will simply see 3-0 and be like,
yep,
as expected. But everybody who joined us tonight, I think, got to experience something really special.
Exactly. I think that was... oftentimes as casters, we hear, okay, don't say that the game's over if it's not over. Like, you only say that when there's a massive gold lead, and there's just so little opportunity that is basically non-existent for the team to come back. And I definitely broke that rule tonight. I was confident. And obviously, Immortals still did take that away, but by the end, 16-bit said, all right, Kangas, no way. We are still in this one, and I got to give props to those players for sticking through it, because that was an insane performance. A very fun game, too, at the end of the day. And that's what Fight Night Rift's all about, right?
Yes.
We talked about that, Alk. We fight, we get aggressive, and we have some fun here.
That makes up for it. You know, even if it was a 3-0, like we said earlier, this makes up for the fact that we got a sweep. Like, that right there is its own 4th game. I will take that as a 3-1 in my mind. And again, congratulations to Immortals. Thank you to all of the teams, not only 16-bit Genesis for making it to the finals, but also Galaxy X Esports, as well as Reflection.
Shout out to everybody that participated. It was awesome. I mean, we can only put out these Fight Night Rifts because we have enough teams interested and willing to participate. And it's awesome we've had so many different teams come in and participate.
Yes, exactly. And again, it is invite only. So if you want to join and you're like, I want to be the one that gets the upset and takes us to a full 5 games or upsets a higher seed, you can sign up. I don't know exactly what the command in Twitch chat is going to be. Pretty sure it's !invite, but someone in chat, one of the mods will get it done. Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. And if you want, again, you can sign up. You have a chance to be entered. And you can play amongst the big dogs here in North America.
Yeah, whatever the Twitch command is. You can also check out, of course, the Twitter. Make sure that you're following GiantSlayer, so that way you can get all the updates on everything that's going on in the Wild Rift scene. But Alk, I mean, another Fight Night Rift in the books, and this time around it's Immortals still reigns supreme. We actually had them, I believe, in the first Fight Night Rift that we ever had, and they lost out to Tribe in those finals. What a long way this team has come since those early days. Yeah,
I mean, you can even look inversely, right? Look at where Tribe is from there. Immortals were winning a bunch of the events in North America. When Immortals were the only team here, and obviously Tribe was coming back from Singapore, Immortals was winning the Rift Masters tournaments. So it's only fair for them now to finally come back, get their revenge, and start to show that the crown is fit quite snugly around their head. And honestly, for all of those 5 players, especially for the kind of the journey that they went through last year, it's only fitting that they get their just rewards.
I mean, Immortals were always that team on the precipice. They made this big comeback in the summer, making it all the way to challenge Tribe, who still obviously represented North America for the Horizon Cup. And it's cool just the dedication and the work that they put into that. We're getting the interview set up here so that we can get a chance to chat with the team, or a player at least from the winning team. I'm wondering which member of Immortals. If you had to guess, who do you want, Alk? Who do you want to interview?
I want Charm, because him and I have been going back and forth during in between games, and obviously during the best of ones.
Yeah, do you have like a Discord DM, or how are you?
Oh yeah, Ethan is Discord DMing me like during, and I'm like, okay, man, like, play
What's
the
he saying
game
right now. Has he said anything
nothing
recently?
Okay, we're not getting Ethan. He has just been like,
no Charm.
This one's for you guys. No boots, Papega.
But we do have the Baron laner and our fellow Horizon Cup talent as well, Iraqi Zoro, wearing the clean jersey. I like that, man. It's a good look. Congratulations, taking the first ever 6-0 for Fight Night Rift. Got a little troll there at the end, potentially. Potentially. What do you have to say for yourself? A lot of deaths there on the Mundo.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit hard staying focused and serious in these games, especially after like the first 2 games we just like hard stomped, barely any deaths or anything. Not in the finals, but like the first two games of the night. So after that, we kind of just like relaxed a little bit more, and then we only really got serious when it got rough. But yeah, I mean, I'm really happy to like be part of these kind of events as well that like encourage more up and coming teams and players to play wildrift esports, because it's very wonderful, it's very entertaining and enjoyable to like participate in as a player. So yeah, happy to be here.
I mean, they're just 2 different events, right? Like one of them is the tier 1 part of the esport, where you're playing against the best, some of the other best teams in North America, and then you have grassroots where it's invite teams. We're playing against even LATAM teams. Speaking of which, I don't know, maybe from internals or external, what are your thoughts of North America versus our South American brethren?
I mean, the Horizon Cup performances were very similar. So when it comes to international competition, so far there hasn't been a lot going on regarding like one region being better than the other. But as far as like internal scrims go, because we do scrim against like Galaxy, we scrim against Stamina, which is another LAN team. We scrim against some LAN teams, and in my experience, I think NA teams are way better. So that's kind of what I have to say about it. But there's going to be another, maybe they surprise us once again this international event.
Yeah, we want a strong rivalry because it's good for both of our regions, especially since we can scrim each other. But we also would like to, finish higher up on the totem pole.
Please.
yeah, for sure. No, for sure.
Man.
Yeah.
And on that note, talking about competition in our region especially, Immortals currently sitting at the top. Now, it has been difficult for teams in multiple esports titles across history to maintain that #1 spot for long periods of time. So I'm curious, just from your perspective, how long can we expect Immortals, and how long do you expect Immortals to maintain that #1 spot in North America? Is that something that you're striving to, or are you just hoping to stay competitive and in that running for that international event?
No, we for sure are striving for #1 in America. I think for at least, I mean, the goal is, right? The goal is, and I don't know what's going to happen, but as far as the expectation goes, we're expecting ourselves and we're hoping that we're able to keep the #1 spot all the way to qualifying to Worlds as the #1 seed. Once we get there and then past that, there's too much uncertainty and there's very little plans that we know about, right? Like publicly announced. So right now the goal and the expectation is just to remain the #1 until, qualifying to Worlds and the #1 NA seed.
Okay, a lot of pressure to put on yourselves, but I like it. That's that confidence coming through. And so far, you got the track record to back it up. Thank you so much, Iraqi Zoro, for coming on for our post-match interview. Final word for the Immortals fans out there.
Final word. I mean, thank you guys for cheering us on. I mean, the other thing I wanted to actually say, I know you guys have been seeing me pop up in these interviews on and on. It's not because I'm not allowing the other players to not come on, okay? I'm not hoarding the interviews.
They're all shy. They're all shy.
They're all very shy.
They're like, no, it's me. Get out of here.
They're all very shy, and Gume and Lamont in particular, very shy. Don't want to do a lot of interviews, so it's me, Ethan, and Hoon trying to split up the time, and Ethan and Hoon sometimes just don't want to do it, so I'm stuck here doing interviews. So just letting you guys know, for the fans that want to watch more of Gume and Lamont, that's what's going on, and maybe we'll encourage them a little bit more and get them on some of these.
To be fair, Ethan messaged me in the middle of this interview and he said, I would have came to the interview if I knew faster. I was typing because I can AFK on Yumi. So that's his fault. That's his fault.
All right, Char, make sure you're checking your DMs a little more often, or maybe a little less in games. But either way, thank you so much, Iraqi Zoro, for coming on, chatting with us about the team, and best of luck going into your future competitions.
Thank you.
All right, and with that said, Alk, I guess that's the reason. We got to get Lamont on for an interview at some point. All right, we'll work with him behind the scenes. We'll go over some reps, some practice interviews, right? I think you can get that set up.
Yeah, of course, especially over at Immortals Progressive. They should be getting the media training for these boys. Get them set up to be, especially Hoon. I want to see Hoon in an interview, because that guy, he's funny on his stream, and I think he should definitely bring that over to Wild Rift and turn up some of the interviews.
Well, regardless, we'll take whoever we can get from any of the teams that are
Yes.
performing well, or any of the teams in general. We love to highlight the players on the show, but that is it for the show. Fight Night Rift in the books for this week. Thank you so much, Alk, for being a wonderful, amazing co-caster. It was so much fun hanging out with you tonight. Thank you for everybody in production for keeping the gears grinding and rolling behind the scenes. Thank you for everybody in Twitch chat for watching along and sticking with us through the show, and a special thanks to the players for putting on the performance. They're the reason that we do this, and they're why we're able to do this for competing for us. We'll be back 2 weeks from now for the next Fight Night Rift. We'll see you there.